And we are coming down in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler, and I'm joined by
Mach.
Machcine Washable.
Nip. Yoshi.
The Maskers Massey.
And the Red Baron.
Yo.
Welcome to a Monday edition of Getting Sports with Drunk.
Special Monday edition.
We're live here from the basement of PPRN Radio Network.
Yeah.
We're here.
Yeah, yes we are.
Special show planned today, at least the last 2 hours. We'll get to that when the time comes. But before all that nonsense, let's do quick beer starting lineups. Souls?
Oh, batting leadoff is the ever so steady super duper double
It's
citrus.
always a pitcher. We've never once done batting for these.
Yeah, it's steady. I didn't say batter.
You said leading off.
Yeah,
You have a leadoff pitcher?
exactly.
I guess you could.
No.
It's not recommended,
No,
but
that's
you
not.
could. Like, your pitcher could bat leadoff.
What's that kid from the Angels?
Otani?
Yeah.
I have, from Hoax Brewing here in Connecticut, the Beauty Parade Peach Milkshake IPA. Probably going to hate it. But I'm in. I'm going to give it a shot.
All right, well, you enjoy that. Let us know how much you hate it. From also in Connecticut, I am drinking Naughty Nurse from City Steam.
I have Red Dog again.
Don't sound so depressed about that.
I'm not. Not even in the slightest. I'm going to drink probably one of them.
From back east, I have the Ice Cream Man. Very excited. Connecticut. Bloomfield.
Not a milkshake IPA.
It's a Citra India Pale Ale.
I don't know why they call it ice cream, man.
It was just a name.
Yeah. But it's not what you think of when you think of ice cream.
Yeah,
No.
I know.
Toast Excellence, Machcine?
I'm gonna switch it up.
No. Go do Jed. Oh.
It's gonna be funny. I'm going with a different one. It was a game I attended on Saturday. I went to the Red Sox-Orioles game. Chris Davis, first hit in 54 at-bats.
I had another one today.
Yeah,
it was a
he
home
was
run.
on fire on Saturday. They couldn't stop him. If I'm him, I campaign to be traded to Boston. Hit well in that park.
I don't see why not. Better than being on the Orioles.
What are you saying?
It was a bad baseball game. Both teams looked so bad.
Mass?
My toast of excellence is to the entire Tampa Bay Lightning team for coasting in the playoffs and forgetting how to play hockey against a team that has been in playoff mode for a month.
What?
They suck. They just coasted into the playoffs. They haven't been fighting to survive for the last month.
Oh, that was weird. What you said it all just didn't make sense to my head.
Sorry.
What are you talking about? They're coasting the playoffs. You don't watch hockey. Souls?
Skipped me. Everyone took mine.
Mine is to the speedy recovery for Ron Darling. Former Mets pitcher, Mets commentator on SNY. I'm a big fan of
Is he even
his.
playing for them anymore and he's injured?
Well, he played, in the,
Doomed fucking organization.
played in the 80s. And
Well, it
90s.
doesn't matter. So now, like, the curse extends to if you ever put on a Mets uniform, you're fucked.
Look out.
Wait until it extends to fans putting on jerseys.
I got a hangnail.
I got one.
Speedy recovery to Ron Darling.
Death by Mets fan. Souls?
Mine is to Jose Altuve for hitting 5 home runs in 6 games. You should give me him, by the way.
I'm ignoring you, Souls.
You should do it.
Mine's to Alexander Ovechkin, beating the ever-loving shit out of Smechevok.
Just
He smacked
knocking
that
him
guy
the hell
pretty
out.
good.
Yeah, beat him the fuck up. Pretty good.
It was great to watch. I love that.
And a group shout out to Tiger Woods. 11
Coming
year
back.
drought. Yeah, I'm hoping for PGA Tour coming back. That's what I'm hoping for. The picture of him with all the money was great.
Yeah, but EA is going to ruin that game like they ruin everything else.
What are you talking about? PGA Sports was great.
Well, no, EA makes good games. You're just gonna have to pay for everything.
Yeah, you're gonna buy it, and you're gonna pay $60 for the game and buy it, and then $25.
You can't tell me that this year's Madden was better than like Madden 16.
I haven't played this year's, but Madden's the same game every
The
year.
marginal difference between Maddens is so
Yeah.
minuscule. They're all the same game.
You buy the new Madden
That's
for the
kind of my
updated
point.
roster. But that's what I mean. Like the game itself is good. It just EA charges for everything.
We, as a consumer basis, are dumb for finding reasons to bitch about a game that we're paying $60 for a copy and paste of every year.
Yes.
But we're going to do it.
We're gonna do it.
I'm not.
The show's not any different. NBA isn't any different.
I didn't buy Madden this year.
You'll buy it eventually. You'll buy another one. You'll buy another one. You will not never buy Madden
Maybe
again.
like 5 years down the line, but I'm done. There's no reason to anymore. We've gotten off topic. What's next?
How's
Upgraded
it off topic?
rosters.
It's sports related.
Upgraded rosters.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's why I get them.
You can do fan updated rosters.
It's not the same. They don't have the picture.
Well, and plus the stats aren't always the same.
Yeah.
They do it based off what they think they should be.
I mean, you can find those stats online. That's not hard to do. The new game comes out, just update the players.
Yeah, but it's not always the same.
And it takes way longer.
For somebody to do it, you just download that roster.
Yeah, but then if you want to fix it, you got to like re-download another one. It's just not.
Oh no! A whole another 2 seconds of downloading a roster.
But then like the EA Sports server is gonna go out on that game, and then you're fucked.
Well, and the allure of all of it now is now that they've updated this online thing.
Madden Ultimate Team.
Well, no, the whole thing in general, playing a franchise with a friend from across town,
You've been able to do that for a couple of years.
Yeah, but you can't do it with Madden 16 if I have Madden 19.
Oh, that's true.
Or being able to do full fantasy leagues in
That'd
Madden.
be hilarious if you could, though.
No, but like last year you could do full fantasy leagues in
Yeah.
Madden. We did one at work. We had 32 people do it. Everyone was a team, and we played the entire season out, and then played playoffs. Can't do that in the old Maddens. The only good thing about the old Maddens is the commentating crew, and it was like actual people, and not these like weird fucks they got doing it now.
I hate the guys doing it now.
Yeah, the run away from the cop speed thing. That's,
We hated.
you don't remember that?
No, I didn't.
That's
That
a
was
real
one of the
thing.
Madden
so funny.
things. The guy broke off a big run, and he goes, "He's got run away from the cop speed."
It was Gus Johnson when he did it that one year.
That's
Maybe it was that one
hilarious.
year.
Wasn't it Phil Sims who was doing the commentating on the old ones?
I don't know about you guys, but I'm all about Jonathan Coachman doing it.
Coachman's funny just because he's so
It
ridiculous.
used to be Jim Nance and Phil Sims, right?
No, it was
It
Phil
was-
Sims and somebody else.
I know it was Jim Nance.
And Phil Sims.
I don't know. It may have been.
Yeah, it was Phil Sims for a long
I was
time.
gonna say I remember Jim Nance.
Yeah, Madden from like 09 to like 2 years ago was Phil Sims and Jim Nance.
Well, Collinsworth was in there, wasn't he?
I don't think
No,
Collinsworth ever
no,
did
he
Madden.
He never did them.
He may have did a year, but not in the old ones. Maybe
It's been Phil Sims since like the Palomalu
Yeah.
Fitzgerald cover. I don't think Chris Collinsworth would have done it before that.
Probably not. No.
And it's not sports related, but just like sorry to like all the people in France.
Yeah, real bummer.
That's kind of crazy. Nothing, nobody from anybody else, just me and Mach. All right, Mach. Thank you for chiming in.
My dad just got home from Paris like 2 weeks ago, so I texted him.
It was him.
Well, so I texted him and I said, "Well, it's a good thing you went and saw it." He's like, "Oh yeah, my bad. I left a lit cigarette in there."
They have a lot of candles lit in there at all times, so I'm not really surprised. It's only a matter of time before like
The only-
Jewish one down the
The only
street
thing
goes
that's
up.
annoying is I see a flood of like Quasimodo memes coming soon, like the next week. It's gonna be
They
so
already started.
annoying. Yeah,
There's like 45 of them on my Instagram feed.
yeah. That's gonna be annoying.
Of the last 100 photos I looked at on my Instagram feed, I would say 40 of them have to do with the fire, 50 of them have to do with Game of Thrones, and 10 of them have to do with people who don't watch Game of Thrones.
Just watch it.
King of the North. All right.
I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah, how?
Why not?
I don't like it. I watched the first episode, and I hated it.
To each their own. Now we're off
I
topic.
mean, there's a lot of arguments people always try to combat me with. Like, well, it takes a little while to get into it. If I have to watch 8-hour-long episodes to get invested into something, it's not for me.
Yeah, you should be able to get hooked in the first couple episodes.
I watched the first episode of The Office. Fucking hilarious.
I did.
I watched the next like 187 of them. I watched the first episode of Sons of Anarchy. Wanted to see more. I watched the first episode of Friends. It was good. It's good.
Friends
It's not
is a
for
good
me.
show.
It's just not for me.
That's fair.
It's just not for me. Not for
Brooklyn
me.
Nine-Nine, no.
Yeah, very funny.
That show's funny.
I
9-9.
love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. 9-9!
Getting shows with souls.
Yes.
Kyle, you had a new nickname for tonight, and you already abandoned it. You always think of a good nickname on a Sunday, and then you don't use it on Monday.
Coach Souls, forgot about it.
Coach Souls. Hmm?
You guys hear about the monorail?
That's not a twist.
All right. Moving on. Oh, toast. Crack your beers if you guys want. I already cracked mine.
I was waiting.
That's that milkshake for you.
It's frothy.
So, yeah. I followed this new page on Instagram.
What's it called?
So I followed this page called. I followed this one page called NFL Fun Facts, but the NFL Fun Facts page recently came up with sports fun facts,
Okay.
and they have 15 posts. I'm just going to read off these 15 because I thought they were interesting, and then I'll just kind of like do this from time to time. Some of these are already pretty well known, but I'm just so like the first one they posted. I think most people know this. Tim Duncan only became an NBA player because a hurricane destroyed the swimming pool on his home island of St. Croix, so he gave up swimming to play basketball. This one I thought was pretty cool. Barry Bonds' on-base percentage would have been .608 in 2004 if he had never swung the bat.
Wow.
Mach, what'd you think about that one?
Say it again. I'm sorry.
Barry Bonds' on-base percentage in 2004 would have been .608 even if he never swung.
That's cool.
If a team's two goalies are injured during a game, the rules state that anybody can play the position, including a fan, concession worker, or janitor, as long as they're inside the arena.
That's pretty cool.
Dennis Rodman didn't play basketball until after high school. In his very first at bat as a 28-year-old rookie pitcher, Hall of Famer Hoyt Wilhelm hit a home run. His career lasted 22 more years and 493 plate appearances, never hit another home run.
Wow.
In 1993, Chris Draper was traded to the Detroit Red Wings for $1.
That must suck.
There was an NFL player that was traded for equipment during the middle of the game.
Well, he was traded for $1 because back in the 90s in hockey, you couldn't if a team cut a player, they had to clear they had to clear a month's worth of waivers before a team could sign him and use him. So the Red Wings wanted him immediately, so they traded $1.
Nice.
Baltimore Orioles shortstop Cal Ripken Jr. didn't miss a game in 16 years.
Holy shit, is that true?
Yeah, and the game he came out, he wasn't even hurt. He just didn't play.
Pittsburgh used to have a real life penguin mascot. Manute Bol killed a lion with a spear when he was 15 in Africa.
Nice.
When Jimmy Pearsall hit his 100th home run in 1963, he ran the bases in the correct order but facing backwards to celebrate. Skipping a couple of them. Oh, Walt Bellamy holds the record for most games played in a season with 88 for NBA. And Mark Messier has taken the Stanley Cup to a strip club twice.
Nice.
And then today's shop trivia. How many stitches are on a baseball?
Ooh.
I knew this at one point in
114.
my life.
No, I'm going to change my answer.
68.
44.
68.
44.
Can't change your answer.
Why?
72.
88. Really jumping out at me.
So are we agreeing that Massey changed his answer?
Oh,
I
I've
said
never
it
been
before
allowed to
Souls
change my
did.
answer.
I said it before Souls did.
All right, so if he can't change his answer, then he's the winner. There's 108.
Wow.
Ah.
That's what I said.
Mass, good job on them not letting you do it because you would be drinking. So who's the loser?
I think Kyle said 60-something.
Coming in, you bourbon.
Oh, boy. We have private stock. Kendall, you're lucky that Paul got your back today.
Where is it?
We don't have private stock.
That's the private stock.
This is?
Yeah.
Our private stock today is not private stock. It is an actually unopened bottle of Jefferson's the Jefferson's Blended Straight Whiskeys line. This is the Chef's Collaboration.
What?
It's a limited edition. It is a mirage of bourbon and rye.
I like rye.
145 proof.
Divide that by 7.
No, it's 90 proof.
Then you divide that by 8.
Batch number 12, bottle number 462. Pass it down to Souls. Souls, you get the honor of cracking it and breaking the cork.
Yeah.
If you don't, Mach will.
Just right out of the gate.
Whoever breaks the
floaters.
cork has to do a 10-second chug. Doesn't have to be today, but it has. I will save 10 seconds chug worth of that.
In 10 seconds, you could finish the entire bottle.
That's not true.
I could not.
They couldn't. You couldn't.
If you're chugging it.
No, because
Your body would just reject it.
Yeah, if you don't like the taste of it, your body's not going to let you swallow it, and then you're just going to start waterboarding yourself with bourbon.
That'd be fun. We should try that.
It's a waste of
Like those events that you always wanted to do.
That's,
like
it's a joke, guys. I actually resealed that with a plastic gun. That's actually just apple juice and graves.
So the cork is stuck. Yeah, look. Oh, sold that dog of mine.
Sold that
Why
dog.
didn't you smell it first? I like the faces you make.
I was like, rye.
Someone had a bad day at work because he's ready to drink.
He goes, it smells like rye.
Actually, Paul, the Revs was in Burger King like 45 minutes ago.
And how'd you do?
I don't know. I'm not there.
But do you get money
I do.
if
Yeah.
it's an A?
Yes, I get lots of money.
So it's going to be a V?
Probably.
Because someone forgot to label the lettuce one day instead of Sunday?
The
That happened last time.
I don't know how this.
Yeah, he got docked like 4 points from a perfect rating because someone put the loaves or the buns out, and they put like Tuesday buns out instead of like Wednesday buns because it was Wednesday. So they got docked like 8 points for it.
Yeah, it's a critical. So it's everything in that fucking store.
all right. What else you got, Riddler?
Whatever you want to talk about, Mass.
Can we talk about Wilson?
Right?
The athletic equipment
Yes.
company.
They make some pretty terrible stuff.
I owned a tennis racket once. I never played tennis, nor had an interest in it, but I owned one.
That's a real Lincoln Reed thing to say.
Yep.
So Russell Wilson.
What about him?
So as of what time is it right now? It is currently 8:28
Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time.
This
He
April
has
15th,
not signed a
2019.
deal with the Seahawks, and at midnight, that's the end of his imaginary deadline for the Seahawks. So there's
It's just a deadline to talk about extensions this offseason.
No.
No.
He said if there's no deal, he's not re-signing with them.
and
at all.
He's looking to get traded now.
Okay, they're not going to trade him. This is okay. This is how I'm going to lead off this discussion. They're not trading him.
No. That's
What team? Well, I'm saying he has no leverage in this situation. It's just Bell all over again. Okay, you're not going to resign. Fine, we're going to tag you. Don't sign it. Don't play.
Yeah. I mean,
You're not going to. You
they
can't
could play the
trade
game.
Russell Wilson. He's a franchise player. He's an arguable top 5 quarterback in the league. What do you like the Giants? I heard that about today.
Yeah.
There's okay. What do the Giants have to give up to get Russell Wilson?
nothing.
17.
What do
They
you
would
mean
have
nothing?
to get. They'd have to give up 17.
No, they'd have to give up both first-round
Yeah.
picks.
They'd have to give up 17, 6, 34. And
They would have to give up. If I'm the Seahawks, I want both first-round picks this
Yep.
year. I want their third-round pick this year. I want their first-round pick next year. I want their third-round pick next year, and I want their third and fourth-round pick the year after that. Talking about a franchise quarterback. Franchise quarterback. When's the last time
I was gonna say
we
3
saw
firsts
a
and 2
franchise
seconds.
quarterback come out of a draft? When was the last sure thing we saw?
Last
Andrew
year-
Luck, 2012. 7 years ago.
Yeah.
We're talking 7 years since we've seen the prodigy that actually panned out to be what's worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, Mahomes might be that, but you can't say it now. Sure, Trubisky might be able to do that. Maybe Baker does it. Maybe Allen or Darnold, whatever. But
It's one of those things. I think it's going to come down to. I don't think they trade him either.
No.
But it'll come down to if the Seahawks decide they don't want to pay him and start a rebuild type deal.
So one of the things that I saw today was that he was trying to do what the rumor was Rodgers was trying to do last year and asking for a percentage of the salary cap. No team is going to do that.
No team was given fully guaranteed contracts till Russell Wilson too.
well, no, Kirk Cousins got a fully
Yeah.
guaranteed.
But
contract.
Wilson's last contract with the Seahawks was guaranteed.
It wasn't fully guaranteed. Kirk Cousins was the first quarterback to get that. Was the first player to get that.
Really?
And he's whack, yo.
Thanks
Russell
for
So always weighs in.
Russell Wilson thinks he has a leg to stand on in the organization because he took a team-friendly deal when his rookie deal was up because he knew that he wasn't the focal point of the team at that point in time. He wasn't going to be the guy that got all the money on the team at that point in time. Not with Wagner and Chancellor and Thomas and Sherman. There was the Legion of Boom in its prime.
Yep.
That team won games in a Super Bowl because of defense.
But the thing that I find interesting about the Seahawks is they're going to pay him that much money, and they're not going to cater their offense to him. Schottenheimer's offense, I'm sorry, is not a offense that's built for Russell Wilson. You saw it happen in like 5 games last year where he called a timeout because he's like, that play is whack-yo, to quote Souls.
Someone gets it.
It was good enough to get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
It was good enough to get into the playoffs.
But he got them there in spite of Schottenheimer and everything else.
It was good enough. It doesn't matter. It's a team game.
But that's my point.
If their offense was so bad, they just wouldn't have made it.
It's
to
not
the
that their
playoffs.
offense is bad. Their offense is not built to cater to him.
Not yet. It's got to get there. The last year was the first year that we actually saw this team kind of like everyone went into the season writing the Seahawks off.
I did.
Nobody
I thought
had
they
the
were gonna
Seahawks going to the playoffs last year.
No.
Nobody did. And then they turn around and they show that this is what we have, and things worked out with certain players. And now they'll continue to cater to that. They're at a position right now where their offense and their defense are kind of on par with each other, and they can take 8 picks. I know they have 4, but whatever. But they can take 8 picks and put 4 defensively and 4 offensively and build it together. They don't need to do like what the Raiders are doing and go, 80% defense in a draft.
That's right. I think it's going to come down to what the front office decides how they want to run the team. Not run it, but what direction they want to take it in. If they decide that we're going to rebuild and amass picks, then the Giants will trade every pick in this draft to get Russell Wilson.
I don't understand why a team wouldn't want to do a percentage deal.
Because depending on what the percentage you give them is, that can hamper you. Teams sign players now assuming that the salary cap is going to go up and you'll have more money to spend.
It's going to go up.
But
Oh,
that's
you
the
know it's gonna
thing.
go up.
So when it goes up, you're not getting that extra money to spend.
You have that
You're
wiggle
already
room.
committing.
I understand that, but you're also not paying him anymore. There's no conversations of I want more money. There's no Antonio Brown situation. If $30 million is 20% of the cap, and next year it goes up to $37 million is 20% of the cap, now he's getting $7 more million. Now there's no leg to stand on for I want more money.
But teams bank on that to be able to move around, wiggle room, and stuff like that. That's what teams are doing when they sign stars to massive
I understand
years.
that, but I also don't buy into it because any NFL GM and head coach can find cap room. The Bears went into this offseason with $18 million worth of cap room, and they're walking out of the offseason with $21 million worth of cap room. And they signed players.
Yeah.
You can find money. Everybody can find money. Teams, big market teams, Seattle's a big market team now because of all the winning that they did. Teams like the Giants, the Jets, the New England Patriots, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Chicago Bears, Miami Dolphins, LA teams, all those teams, they have unlimited amounts of currency in their pocket. Oakland doesn't have that. That's where Oakland got in trouble this year. They didn't have the cash to give out for signing bonuses. They had all the cap, but none of the cash. LA Chargers, LA Rams, Bears, Giants, Steelers, they all have unlimited pockets.
Yeah.
Here's signing bonuses.
Yep.
Take it all.
That still counts against the cap, though.
No, it doesn't.
Signing bonuses?
No, they don't. That's why when they
That's team
restructure,
cash.
Oh.
when they restructure, it
That's
always
team
gets
cap.
changed.
That's
over
the
to
owner
bonuses.
basically saying, "Here's my money."
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm rich enough as it is. Take this to stay.
But that's why when you see like when Mach restructured, a lot of it got changed over into signing bonuses and whatever.
You look at who was it that said it last year? It was which receiver said it?
Is there a limit on?
Oh, it
what
was
you can
DeAndre
give out?
Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins said that he would have no problem taking a $10 million a year contract where 1,000 of it is contract and the rest of it's signing bonuses.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't understand.
There's no limit to it. It's how much money you have.
No. What I mean is there a cap on what you give out as bonuses? Because then why wouldn't every contract be that way?
Because not all
Because then you're
GMs
giving
can
out
do that.
your money.
But what I mean is when you have your big time franchise guy, when they why wouldn't you have a higher signing
'Cause
bonus?
Let's talk about Oakland again.
Well, no, because it takes away. You guys talked about it with the wiggle room for the cap increase. It takes away your wiggle room for negotiations. Your big name guys are the guys you go to first for renegotiating. You're not going to your third string running back and asking him to
that's
renegotiate.
true.
You're going to the guy making $25 million
Yeah.
this year, and you're saying, "Hey, let's bump that down to 21, and I'll give you $4 million
Yeah.
in cash." And that's where the wiggle room comes from in it.
I gotcha.
And it all comes from, like, the big market teams can afford to do it more because it comes from concessions, jersey sales, gift shops,
Personal
parking,
wealth.
Yeah, exactly. In personal wealth. That's why we have owners. That's why the AAF didn't succeed. They didn't have owners dumping money into these teams. That these owners will dump. You look at someone like Arthur Blank. You look at Arthur Blank will dump an unlimited amount of money into the Falcons.
Yeah,
an unlimited amount of money.
Kroenke will dump whatever he has.
I mean, certain teams won't do that, and that's why you don't see big name free agent signings and a lot of big contract restructurings. And that's the Bears, the Packers, and the Steelers and the Cowboys, because those are all a lot more like old-fashioned teams that are like, we're going to do this from within. All of our winning in the past came from when we did it ourselves.
Yeah.
And we just saw the Bears do it. We saw the Bears do it. Now we saw the Packers do it. I think the Steelers are going to be gearing up to do it in the future. You got to every once in a while. You got to do one big free agency splash. You can't afford to go from within all the time. It doesn't. You got to get some other people in there.
Yeah.
To help mentor those young guys. Because they draft, like the Steelers, for example, if they draft a young wide receiver right now, no matter how good he is, who's mentoring him?
Juju.
I mean, I'm not shitting on Juju. I'm just saying, like, Juju still needs mentoring himself.
Yeah, he's only
like
he's
Juju's
what,
still learning a lot
19, or 21
in both life and. I mean, does he even have his license yet?
Yeah, he got it.
Oh, he did get it.
You got it. Don't even say it, Mach.
I didn't say anything.
I saw your fucking face.
I was gonna make a joke about him riding a bike to practice, but
Who cares?
That was
It's awesome.
I thought it was awesome.
It's the second most awesome getting to practice situation ever.
What's the first?
Giannis.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
The what?
Giannis in his rookie year, he sent so much money over to his family in Greece
Oh yeah.
that he didn't have enough money to get to a game, so he ran. And then some people going to the game recognized him, was like, "Do you want to ride?" And it's like, then the captain was like, "Can you imagine seeing him on the street and just being like, you want to get my car?"
You're like 7'8". Climb in.
Not a bad.
Hop
Get
in
in
the
my
trunk.
Miata.
Hop in the trunk.
But the Russell Wilson, it's the NFL generating news, so there's something to talk about before the draft. It's dumb.
Well, that's the thing. We're going to hear all about it come draft day. You know, when the Seahawks time to pick, you're like, oh, Russell Wilson, blah, blah, blah.
I mean,
It's gonna be
if the
annoying.
Seahawks want to undersell and stock up on picks because that's what their goal is to do in this draft anyway, then maybe.
There's a lot more that they could do. They could trade Frank Clark before they trade Russell Wilson.
It'd be interesting if we sort of seen, I'm going to say, we've seen issues like this coming up now. I wonder if teams are ever just going to give in right away. Just like, all right, I don't want to do this.
My thing
Just,
is, like,
you
there's
know.
all this news about him going to the Giants having interest and whatever, and it's all smokescreen news because none of it's coming from
Yeah.
actual sources. But even if he were to go to the Giants, I don't see that trade happening because the
Well-
Seahawks are going to want both picks this year.
Yeah.
And the Giants can't afford to give both picks this
No.
year. They need too much help on defense.
I agree.
They need one of those impact defensive players. And Russell Wilson for the 17th pick, I don't care what else you throw on the package, it's not worth it.
Like I said, the only
They'll
way
give
I
you
can
Ricky
think is if
Williams.
they say, you know what, let's avoid the whole franchise tag headache, and they take whatever the best package is. If it's going to have first rounders and whatnot. I don't
agree
think
with
it
that, but I don't
happens.
think, but that's not that won't be anything that happens till next draft. He
Oh,
still has
I-
a year to
I
play,
agree. Yeah.
and he's not going to sit out.
No.
No,
He already
he
said he wouldn't sit out.
No, but I'm saying like if they
Even if it
franchise
came to it,
tag
he's
him,
not that
he's
guy.
not going to not play.
No.
He's not that guy.
He's not going to not play because he's got to know by now he's not good enough to play in the MLB. I mean,
That
Hey,
ship has
he's
sailed.
had a couple of good springs.
No, he hasn't.
Couple of
No,
good
he hasn't.
couple of good at bats in the spring.
No, he hasn't.
He had 2 with the Yankees last year.
He struck out both times.
That's pretty good.
Just like Tim Tebow. Got blown away. I forgot who he faced, though. Kershaw.
Kyle. Guess what?
Kershaw.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's not fair.
Well, it's
Why
his
not?
fault.
why is it not fair?
MLB
You want to play in the
quality
MLB,
player.
you got to be
I
able
know.
to hit off MLB pitchers. You can't keep hitting off scrubs. Did he even ground out?
No, he struck out every time.
Looking,
I don't think so.
swinging early on a curveball.
Cal, you hitting Kershaw?
No. I'm not hitting anybody.
I think in 50 pitches I could nick it one time.
Think so?
I stand by. I could hold a 100 batting average.
It's like freaking bench warmers. See
You
that?
really-
I stand by
Ticked it.
How many at-bats we talking?
You're out. You're
Give me like
still
30
fat.
at bats. I can
Wow.
get 3 hits in 30 at bats.
I don't think so.
Off an
I think
MLB
I could.
pitcher?
I think so.
So you think you get 3 hits off Chris Sale?
But here's the thing: no fielders. I don't need like ground. I think I'm making contact. 3 times.
So you don't have 100 batting average. You're just going to make contact 100.
I
Like
know
10%
I
of the
contradict
time.
it. I think I could get 3 hits out of 30.
Just
You
poke-
think you
poke
can
a
make 3
couple into the outfield?
contacts?
Here's my guess: the first one you hit, you make solid contact and break your hands.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've hit 90-mile-an-hour pitches and stuff before.
How
Well,
bad did your
that's-
hands hurt?
It doesn't if you hit it off the barrel.
I mean, if it jams you, it's gonna
In,
hurt.
in the handle, it's gonna hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Off the end, gonna hurt.
All right, so let's make a contest then. So, are you confident in that you could do 3?
I think I could go 3 for 30.
All right, so would you be willing? You can pick whatever ace pitcher you want to go against.
How are we gonna set this up?
No, not for real.
Oh,
I'm saying like
We'll
you pick-
tweet at
You
them.
pick any ace pitcher you're going up against. They're going to throw you 50 pitches. If you get 5 hits or more, you're good. For every hit you don't get under 5, so you only get 2, you have to let him throw 3 pitches at you, and you
no.
can't move.
No way.
You can wear a mouth guard, shin guard, but he's going for it. You can wear the helmet, the whole 9 yards.
Can you turn around and let him hit you in the back?
That's like the worst.
Yeah, you want him to hit you in the arm. I'd rather get hit in the arm.
You want arm or ass?
Yeah, I don't want to get hit in the back.
I've gotten hit.
Would
in
you
the
rather
back.
get
It
hit in the
sucks.
chest or the back?
Neither of them. It's the same
Well, if you
thing.
get hit in the chest, you're just terrible at what you're doing at batting.
It's the same
If you
thing.
get hit in the chest, that means you swung so early that you're
No, no,
facing
no, no, no,
forward
no, no, no.
and then getting hit.
No. You said he's throwing at you. Would you rather him throw
No,
at
he's
your
throwing
front?
at you in the box like you're
Oh,
batting.
right.
We're not Happy
Yeah,
Gilmore in the
this
batting
is- we're not
cage here.
jackassing this shit.
I do. I think I could go 3 for 30,
I mean, we could kind of set
which
it
is
up.
a terrible stat line.
If we get set up with the New Britain Bees, would you do it? I mean,
I would try it.
I bet you that's something that's kind of somewhat attainable.
Yeah.
They're kind of an active
I know
Twitter.
a couple people that are actually that work at the stadium.
All right, well, Master, you set it up for us.
All
We'll,
right.
we'll each go. We all know
We all
who's
take
hitting
30
and
at bats.
We know who's
Oh,
hitting and
no,
who's
no,
not.
no.
I know
so
a guy.
So many at bats.
Yeah. Hey, can you give away like a
10
half a day?
games. 10 games worth.
Souls, I'll tell you what. You can be the catcher.
No. No, I'm afraid. I've been afraid since I was a kid.
To catch?
Yeah.
I couldn't do it either.
I played catcher when I played Little League.
Anytime
I always-
somebody swings a bat, dude, I flinch like right. I'm like,
I always
Oh,
It's,
try.
so it's not the ball coming at you, it's the bat?
It's
yeah,
the bat.
it's bad. I can catch a bull bat.
I'm wearing the face mask. I'm still afraid of getting hit in the face with a foul ball. Can't do it. I tried. I was good at all the drills. I had a good like pop time. Couldn't do it. As soon as there was a batter in there, nope.
Well, you know what's funny is, I mean, catching in softball, I never really noticed the bat, so that means it's going to be
Well, it's
very
different.
dangerous for me.
Very different.
Well, I understand that the bat speed is different, but
No, the pitch speed's different.
Kyle, we're talking one and the same here.
So
How's
Kendall-
that beer?
It's fantastic.
I'll save it for the review.
All right.
So Kendall, I'm telling you what, you can catch.
All right.
You get a glove as big as my laptop screen.
Oh my god!
Seems kind of cumbersome, actually.
Hey, here's a 22-inch glove.
Just
You,
tape it to
you
your
get
stomach.
this. You get this glove. You have to sacrifice one piece of safety equipment for it.
Yeah,
Cup.
left shin.
Left shin is not protective.
I'll go barefoot.
There you go.
What would happen if that hit your foot?
It break.
I don't think your cleat is offering much protection,
Right.
It's offering more protection than a bare foot.
but not really.
Actually, can I alter it? I'll wear like a plastic bag
Where?
on my feet, like sandwich bags.
That's because you're never barefoot.
Right. I couldn't do that, but sandwich bags are fine. Or like a gallon bag, Ziploc.
I'm
No.
just taking the pitches. Not even gonna bother trying to swing the bat. What's the point?
Does bunting?
Hey, I
count?
tell you
Walk.
what, Paul. Last time you did that, you got 4 walks and 2 ribbies. So there's a method to the madness.
And if they hit me, it's a walk, so I win. Winning.
Depends where you get hit. Because I mean, like if you get hit like in your knuckles, that's not gonna feel good.
No, but it's still a walk. If you're a team player, a walk's a walk. Right,
Fuck
Souls?
that, man. Fuck getting hit on the hands.
Oh yeah.
I'll take it right in the dick. No cup.
Down for the count.
I'll crawl.
That's happened to Gary Sanchez a few times. He's had a few foul tips catch him right in the beanbag.
But he's wearing a cup.
I don't know if he is.
I don't know if it matters.
Some catchers don't, which is
Need that,
unbelievable.
that flexibility in the crotch region.
Oh my god, I can't even. That would be the most terrifying thing for me.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
That could kill you. Those rupture.
I don't know. Kendall doesn't even want to think about it.
Let's move on.
All right, what else we got?
So NHL playoffs are underway.
Yep.
First round is
Penguins are ass.
yeah. So as of right now, we got the Bruins and the Leafs playing Game 3. Leafs are up 3-2 at the end of the second. Series is tied one a pop. Washington and the Canes are playing Game 3. Washington's two up on the Hurricanes, but they got a 3-0 lead. And then we got later tonight, Predators Stars. That's tied at a game apiece. Flames Avalanche. That's tied at a game apiece. And then, the Islanders and the Blue Jackets both have 3-0 leads on the Penguins and the Lightning. Shockers thus far. St. Louis has a 2-1 lead on the Jets. And Golden Knights have a 2-1 lead on the Sharks.
Yep.
So the whole Western Conference, or the whole fucking Sunday schedule is backwards.
So the teams we thought were going to do very good in the playoffs.
Well, no, I never once thought that the Penguins were going to do very good in the playoffs. I just thought they could beat the Islanders.
You thought that the Lightning and Sharks would be pretty good, though, yeah?
I mean,
Yeah.
You think the Sharks are good, yeah?
That did kind of hit the ear kind of funny.
anyway,
We got a little bit of Canadian here, yeah?
I mean, I thought the Lightning would at least make it 2 rounds. I don't think they were running to the Stanley Cup. I think the window's closed. To be fair, I do.
Okay.
But Kyle, are you sad about the Gwins, man?
Not really.
You don't care about hockey.
No, I kind of thought it was going to happen.
I'm sure you did.
He cared that one time when we were in Pittsburgh, during the time of the finals.
Yeah, I was a big Sid Crosby fan then.
Oh, for the Pirates game? We
Yeah.
watched it on TV.
Yep.
And then we ended up watching Roadhouse after.
Yep.
Good movie.
It's all right.
I like that movie a lot.
Hotel Cable for the win.
Down to the no.
What?
I was singing a song.
Yeah?
Sorry,
What, yeah?
Sorry, yeah.
Oh,
So, I don't know, it's just interesting. I mean, there's not really a lot of analysis to provide at this moment in time other than 2 key suspensions, one for the Maple Leafs and one for the Lightning.
Yeah, I can't believe Kadri got suspended. Is it Kadri? Did I say his name right?
Which team are we talking about?
Leafs.
What do you mean you can't believe he got suspended? This is like his 9th time committing this he should have been suspended like 8 games.
Oh.
He's gone for at least the first round.
Yes, they already announced that.
He probably will be gone longer. Kucherov should have been suspended way more than a game. He hit a guy from behind. He led with his shoulder into the guy's head, who was defenseless, and put his head into the boards.
Yikes. That's not good.
That's like, it's basically like going up to the court. It's like being a defensive end and going up to the quarterback, hitting him with a decongester, then putting him in a sleeper hold, and then hitting him with a snapmare suplex, and then going like, it's a sack. Like, what do you want? It's just a sack.
Could you imagine a decongester in the NFL?
Through the helmet. Hit him with the eyes.
What are you saying, Solis?
Nothing. He beat me to it.
I say, if we could zoom in on Kyle, I'll demonstrate.
Yeah, here. Go ahead.
Kyle, speaking of other sports, Sixers.
Suck.
They're playing tonight, right?
Yeah.
They losing?
Boban had 8 points in the first quarter.
Are they losing?
We'll find out right now.
What do you mean you find out right now? You don't have it up on Gamecast?
He's watching the Phillies game
Yeah,
cast.
I don't care.
Oh, okay.
They're
Yeah.
losing 5.
You know. Week 3 of MLB season, NBA playoffs.
That's pretty much how
Priorities.
Kyle operates.
Sixers are up 7 with 9 minutes in the second quarter.
Kyle's only a fan of the Steelers, the Phillies, and the Penguins when, or the Sixers and the Penguins when the Phillies aren't playing.
Yeah. In 4 minutes.
If the
and
Steelers
48
made the Super Bowl and the Phillies had an exhibition game on, he wouldn't watch the Steelers in the Super Bowl.
So in
playing in Japan.
4 minutes and 48 seconds, Boban Marjanovic has 10 points and 3 boards. 5 for 5 shooting.
You know, and then the Clippers Warriors play later. So
He's the
poor Clips. You see what I'm talking about? Like tonight, it's a nice Monday night. We have 2 games on in the NBA Finals. There are 4 on in hockey.
So I have a question for you.
Oh, please, by all means.
So, because you mentioned the Warriors Clippers.
A lot of upsets early on.
The other night when Durant and Beverly both got tossed out, I mean, to me that hurts the Clippers way more than it hurts the Warriors, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, is anyone like kind of, hey, don't do that, like don't get thrown out of games?
I think it was toward the end of the game, anyways.
But even still, I mean,
No, at that point it was over.
But it's the type of person that Patrick Beverly is. Patrick Beverly is one of those Chicago players. So he's going to be nitty gritty. He's going to get in your face. He's going to aggravate you, and he it's just how he is. I mean, he's not going to back down from. He's not. That's not. And it's just not how you think in the heat of the moment.
No, I get that. It's.
I mean, I think a normal person watching like the Reds Pirates was like, oh man, I'd never fight an entire team, but in the heat of the moment,
Here comes Puig.
Here comes Puig. I mean, it's just how it goes. I mean, yeah, no, it hurts the team more. I mean, I saw a funny thing today about Draymond Green because he's like the all-time both regular season and postseason winning percentage for a player, like 74.8%, and everyone in the comments is just like, must be really hard to win when all you have to do is stand at the top of the key and pass to the two greatest shooters of all time and a top 5 scorer. I was like, yeah, that's true.
True that, yeah.
Imagine if he got traded. Like, imagine like he like had to sign with like the Magic. That would dip from 74 to 50 real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick, because they just wouldn't win a game.
I don't know if that's true. Might win a couple.
Sixers still hold the worst record all time, right?
They're up there probably. No,
Twice.
the Bobcats do.
Yeah, but you guys, I think you have 2 in the top 5.
Yeah.
There's a few rough seasons.
There's been a lot of rough seasons, especially
No.
recently.
Pretty much like from AI leaving until last year.
No, they had a good time when AI just left and they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Mm.
Had a
We'll
good
call it
time,
what,
though.
2006
Yeah,
till last year.
7 around then.
Right. Fair.
Yeah, played the Celtics 7 games in the finals. Lost. They would have got swept anyway by whoever they played in the West.
True.
Played in the West, they probably wouldn't have made it.
Well, they would have made it as like an 8 seed.
Maybe.
That's what they do. You know what I'm saying, yo?
No.
What do you think about Luke Walton, Kings head coach now?
I think it's a good fit.
I do too.
I don't think anybody's a good fit for the Lakers now.
I also think that.
Ty's coming.
Ty's coming because they need to have some sort of face that's just going to let LeBron shove it up his ass.
Exactly.
But Luke Walton's a
could
good
do that.
coach. He just was in a bad scenario.
Luke Walton was doing everything he could to help build this young team, and then
The wrench got thrown.
Well, no, then you bring in a player that's the same age as him.
Same
That-
draft.
Yeah,
Good for you for doing that.
Read that fun fact one time on Instagram.
College did you go to?
Kyle, shut up.
who's his dad?
Bill Walton.
Incorrect. That's not true. His dad's real name is actually George Walton.
It's kind of close.
How?
I don't know. Common name.
Nah, Bill's his dad.
That'd be funny if it was.
Anybody have anything to chime in with at all? Any sports
You
knowledge?
covered about everything.
All right. Cool. I guess we'll go to break then. We'll come back a little earlier since we got a lot
Yeah.
to cover. Tiger Woods, though.
Good
Goat.
for him.
He's a goat.
That was
I
a good
watched
win.
the Masters. I watched Sundays. Totally worth it. That poor Italian guy, Molinari. He was in the lead like the whole time. Went double bogey on back-to-back holes.
That sucks.
He spent the rest of the tournament looking like he cried.
Good.
He was in Tiger's group too. Like
Oh.
the second double bogey, Tiger was just like, let's fucking go eagle on this one.
We in it.
He made it interesting at the end though, because he missed a putt at the end. He had to finish with a bogey. A bogey won it. If he finished with a double bogey, it would have been tied. And he got the bogey. He made sure to keep everyone. But I'm a big fan of the money. So, but yeah, we'll hit break. We'll come back soon. We got a big show coming up. Kyle will introduce it, and we'll be back in 95 seconds.
Wow.
All right.
And now, back to getting sports with Drunk on the PPRN Radio Network.
Welcome back to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your host, Cupcake the Riddler. I'm joined by fucktards, all of them.
We here.
And don't say that. We here?
We here.
Yeah, we here? Yeah. Like, what are you gonna do, Souls?
Yarp.
Yarp? What the hell is Yarp?
That's a Hot Fuzz reference.
He's never seen Hot Fuzz.
Yarp.
He just wanted to say Yarp, but no one asked about the monorails and said Yarp.
Narp.
Narp.
So, Souls, introduce it
So today,
on Getting Sports with Drunk.
I was getting to it, guy.
I was rubbing his head.
Wait for the build-up. Today
we're gonna do on Getting Sports with Drunk.
on GSWD, okay, is our mock draft.
Happy mock draft
No.
Monday.
All right, so I guess I'll just introduce it. You suck,
You
Kyle.
know what? Fuck all of you.
I didn't say anything.
You thought it.
Yes.
So everyone's doing. I don't know if the Red Baron's doing one. I think he should, but he's like refusing to do it.
No, I'm gonna do one.
You know, you said you weren't gonna do one. Don't lie to the
When did I
listeners.
say that?
Yesterday.
Last week when I asked you if you were gonna do one, you were then probably not gonna do one.
But then you said we should all do it. I was like, okay.
Hmm.
I gave in.
What's your color, Kendall?
I think he has made up conversations in his head. Like I think that like Rebecca just starts talking on the car ride home, and Kendall's just like, "All right, so let's think of something else." And he's like, "How could I have finished that conversation at the studio differently?" And then he's like, "Now everybody knows because I did this in my head."
That's my happy place.
Anyway, so everyone is submitting an actual mock draft. I lied; it needs to be submitted by next week because I thought the draft was this week. So you have till next week to do it. Soul's already submitted his, but he'll withdraw his submission and resubmit at least once.
He has to do that because I've seen his mock draft and there are some fucking misses there.
Hey,
Ooh,
guy,
Ma-
how about
Matt's
this?
calling you out.
Sent it to Mass.
No, I let him look at it.
Yeah, he showed it to me. You admitted yourself you forgot two people.
I forgot. That doesn't mean it sucks, you jackwagon.
I didn't say it sucks. I
How
said
about
you had
this?
misses.
Suck my left nut.
Bring it
Don't-
over.
So
Don't
this
forget-
show,
Don't forget, everybody has to submit one mock draft. One. So are we doing 2 rounds or one? Because Kyle did 2.
I'd
Souls
like to
and
do
I are
one.
doing 2 at minimum.
I'm trying to do one.
Well, okay, if you guys do 2, none of those go towards your point totals.
That's fine.
Yeah, but fuck
We'll
the
just
third
do it.
round.
We'll just do it between the two of us then.
Okay, well, you both have to take shots for not inviting everybody else to do
All
it.
right, fine. I'll do mine now.
Um,
Oh,
But
no.
Souls' idea.
everyone
so.
has to submit a mock draft, and then everyone has to submit a mock draft if Kyler Murray doesn't go first, because if he doesn't, like, that just kind of
Alright.
fucks everything up.
Yeah.
But, yeah, but today we're going to do a live mock draft between Machcine Washable,
Yeah.
Coach Souls,
Yarp.
and the Mass Chris Massey.
Yeah.
I believe 2 of them have 12 teams and one has 11, some shit like that. I don't know how the math works out. Or 11 and 10, I don't know, something. But they each have a bunch of teams. The picking is
I have 8 teams.
no, you have more than 8.
Well,
Yeah, you have
two of my teams have 2
Multiple
picks.
picks. Okay, but you have
That's
10
still
picks.
picks.
Yeah. So you have 10 picks, okay.
Where's
Everybody
the Patriots?
everybody has a team. Everybody has their favorite team. So Mass has the Rams, Mach has the Patriots, and Kyle has
The Ravens.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'll go after yourselves.
But yeah, so we're just gonna do it, and then Red Baron and I will just provide some insight.
Barrett, did you do your homework?
I have a lot of info up right here.
All right.
Height and weight, very important.
Are you-
Why don't you show the listeners what you're looking at?
I'm on NFL.com.
All right.
That was like an oxymoron. Show the listeners.
You writing it down?
Tell the deaf person what's going on.
Souls, you took a sign language class.
A, B, C, D.
He was good at the alphabet.
Up
yeah.
to
He was
D.
good till D.
No, I can do all of it. But I'm not doing it.
All right. Who has the Cardinals?
I do.
All right.
No.
Well, did you get like the noises? And
I can
stuff?
pull that up right now if you like.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I didn't know he was looking to do that.
Yeah, I told him I want the pick is in noise, and then I want boos and cheers. We should be able to boo and cheer picks.
Are we gonna boo everything that Souls picks?
No, we're gonna boo everything you pick.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah, come on now, Kendall. Just waiting on you.
Yeah, we can continue talking about stuff. That's the great
There's
part
nothing else
about
to
having a
talk about.
radio show.
So let me ask you guys. I'm planning to do this live just because we won't know where anything falls until it happens. Are you planning to see if you can trade up?
Yeah, I got a couple trades in mind.
Yeah, tried to do trades. No one answered text.
Because your
So
trades were whack.
Because
bro.
you also can't trade ahead of the draft like that because you don't know. Well, you can, but you don't know who's gonna pick what.
What?
I asked if anyone had any potential trades in mind, and no one answered.
I don't have any
Well,
trades.
I'm
in
not
mind.
letting you
For
do
weeks.
an unrealistic trade like Baltimore to move up to the 3. Sorry.
Hey, real quick, is this the one you
I
guys
hope it
want?
happens.
Because there's more than one. This is the one that I like.
Yeah.
What other one is there?
Well, you guys are playing the Sports Center sound.
No.
No, I just did it to do it.
That's Kyle. He thought he was doing that song.
Didn't.
Da 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 da.
Do you have boos and cheers?
I can, but it's a lot of navigation. I can do booze and cheers.
So why don't you just focus on navigating, and I'll just focus on the statistical portion of this. How's that sound? And then you can just talk.
Well, that's just fine.
All right. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, the 2019 Getting Sports with Drunk mock draft, Machcine washable
Hold
draft.
on. Are you the commissioner?
No, I'm me.
Okay.
The commissioner is over there in the corner.
Boo!
Yeah.
I don't know why they boo him. Do a great job.
Because
Let me just share this.
everyone hates him.
That's funny. That just sounded like you just like put like mass 6 times.
Nice.
And then cheers. You should just do like Norm.
I was thinking that.
But
Just play the theme song every time.
The whole thing.
So yeah. So trades are welcome. You guys do whatever. So Kendall, do you want to be the commissioner? Or you want me to be the commissioner?
You be the commissioner.
All right. So I'm.
Boo. Sorry.
None of your trades are going through, and all your picks are getting vetoed due to tampering.
I'm just gonna test this applause.
So trades are welcome, but you have to
Okay, sorry.
you have to propose them. You have to propose them, and I can decide whether they're fair or not.
All right.
The 2019 Getting Sports with Drunk live Machcine washable draft is here. With the first pick, the Arizona Cardinals are on the clock. We don't have a clock. It's the best I got. So, whenever you're ready, Mass.
I'm just waiting to see if the phone rings.
No,
We're not doing that.
All right. Okay, here I got
There's
you.
pretty much going to be no trades.
I got you. You ready? No. All right, go ahead.
All right, perfect.
We're saying the pick is in.
We are saying that the pick is in. With the number 1 pick in the 2019 Getting Sports with Drunk Machcine washable draft,
We're not saying that every time.
the Arizona Cardinals select Kyler Murray.
Boo. I hate that. All right. It's crazy here at Radio City Music Hall. We need Boomer. I mean, pretty predictable. What do you think, Reed?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a mail this one in pick. You know.
So, according to NFL, he has a 6.25 prospect grade.
That's really low.
No stats for any combine drills.
Hey, he didn't do anything.
Yeah, he just showed up and measured his hands. That was pretty much all he did. But
Well, I think he got his height measured.
He did.
no, he got his height measured at his pro day.
Oh, that's
He didn't
right.
measure-
He didn't do it at the combine?
No.
He didn't measure his weight either. No, he measured his weight, but for what? But I mean, he just seems to be very poised. He has, he has. Are you kidding me right now?
Facebook.
He's very clutch. He has the ability to elevate his play. He's great at the RPO, the direction that the NFL is running. He's got equal running and passing abilities, but no, not really a lot of experience as a full-time starter. And he just, I don't know, he doesn't really have like the stats to back up the number 1 overall pick.
He doesn't have the it factor.
Well, no, it's not that. It's the it factor. But he's also just like, you're banking on him being Russell Wilson. That's really what this is coming down to be.
Yeah.
You're banking on Kyler Murray being Russell Wilson, and can he do it? The hand size was a big thing. He measured at having over 9-inch hands, but, let's see what, that makes a big difference, especially, Arizona playing in a dome. Going to play a lot of games in a dome, so. But what do you think? Also,
too, someone who could be at risk of injury. Now, I only say that because someone who's not like a super built player, kind of like we talked about that hybrid, run all around. But
Yeah.
the NFL, a lot of big guys that move pretty quick too, and they hit hard.
And that's also a team with a pretty terrible offensive line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. All right. I don't have the draft order in front of me, so
San Fran.
that was weird. I didn't like that. You're talking about Mike. I heard that's like weird.
Number 2 is San Francisco.
While eating.
I don't know who has San Francisco, but if you're ready,
Yeah, the pick is in.
all right.
We're pretty organized.
With the second pick in the 2019 GSWD draft, the San Francisco 49ers select defensive end Nick Bosa out of Ohio State University.
Red Baron, you just make your own decisions from now on because I don't want you looking at me. But yeah, so Nick Bosa, arguably the best defensive player or best pass rusher coming out of this draft, could be argued for best defensive player. 6.55 grade, ran just under 4.8 in the 40, 29 bench, 33 on the vertical, 116 on the broad. Also equally impressive, 3 cone and 20 yard. He's
laughing at. I just see Rebecca's computer. It's the funniest picture of Kendall. Full beard Kendall.
But he's a stud. I mean, he's got the pass rushing pedigree in his family. He comes out with powerful legs, and he has the sawed off frame. He's got very, very hard to find strength that eats double teams and nose tackles. He's able to take on any blocker. He's good at getting hands down. Really, the only weaknesses that I've really found in his game is that he's stiff in his hips. He's not as fluid in his entire pass rushing motion as his brother Joey is, and his counter skills in the run game aren't where they should be. But I mean, he's a stud in the making. We just gotta see if he holds out like Joey. But Red Baron?
I have a question. I don't know. I understand what detrimental a core muscle injury is, but what really did that entail for him? Was it just bruising of ribs, or I don't really remember anything, about his time in school. I never really heard about him being like.
Well, the thing is, he got hurt game 2 of this year, and he had the opportunity to come back, but he chose not to.
This is kind of a self-preservation.
Yeah,
type.
I'm getting picked number 1 or number 2 overall. Why am I bothering?
And I guess in a position like that, there's not really going to be that type of rust, I guess. So an excellent pick, I feel, and I think that's someone who's going to make an immediate impact.
If he stays healthy.
If he says, well, that, we say that, and I'm notorious for saying that type of stuff too, but that goes for
anybody
anything.
can get hurt,
Yeah.
but he's been kind of prone to it.
It is a fair assessment.
All right. The New York Jets are on the clock.
Pick is in.
You guys are way too quick. We're not going to be able to do trades like that.
There's a lot of booze in this soundbite.
The Jets, with the number 3 pick, select edge rusher Josh Allen from Kentucky.
Right.
I saw a thumbs down for the mass, but
It's crazy here at Radio. Josh Allen, what can you say? Guy is an animal. I think like him and Bosa, like neck and neck for best pass rusher. I think Bosa just edges him out, but that's not to take anything away from Allen. 6'5", 262. He's got a 6.66 draft grade. He was faster in the 40. He didn't do the vertical, which I'm curious to know as to why. I don't remember why. But 118 on the broad, 28 on the reps. A lot of strengths to like in a player of his pedigree. He's got elite size and speed. You kind of compare him to like what Myles Garrett was kind of bringing to the table, or Jadeveon Clowney when they were coming out, those like freak of nature type pass rushers. He has all the ability and talents to challenge the top tier offensive tackles now in the NFL. His first step is insanely quick. He has long lateral slide motions across the offensive line to get in and out of blocks. He has insane accuracy at fighting hands, and he keeps his speed at top gear when making cuts and turns to get around offensive linemen. The guy is an absolute nightmare for offensive linemen, both seasoned and rookie. The only thing he needs to do a little bit better, he's not good at chipping and imposing a threat on tight ends at the point of attack. He is really good at fighting off hands from offensive linemen, but he doesn't use his own hands that well. And his length, it's kind of like he's reserved. Like he's got extraordinary length and extraordinary skill, but it's not always there.
Yeah.
The length doesn't show up the way it should be, and also when he rushes inside, he tends to kind of freelance and kind of go off script in the play, which usually, if you do that, especially at the NFL level, it's going to end up getting you caught, and you're going to end up not making a play, and you're going to look like a buffoon out there. Right, Baron?
Reiterating off the Riddler, very fast, very quick. One thing I'm reading that's pretty interesting, he decided to stay and play his senior year, and many people say that has really actually boosted him to the moment he's now. Like, he would have been drafted either way, we think, but now playing that extra year, he posted 17 sacks. I think it really elevated him to what foreseeably could be like a top 3 pick. So he's ready to go.
All right. The Oakland Raiders are on the clock. Anything?
Are we Raiders?
Yes.
Is the pick in?
No, it is not.
Oh,
We are still deciding. We expected somebody else to go last pick.
I see.
Well,
Now I'm not drafting.
So, so as predicted until the picks in, as predicted so far, we've seen Kyler Murray, Nick Bosa, and Josh Allen. I'm not entirely sure what the Raiders kind of thought was going to happen here, but they're on the clock. It's about to run out, and I don't think we really want to see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers jump up. So I need to know if the pick is in.
The pick is in, I guess.
I like Matt's doing this like poker nod over here, like hit me.
The 4th pick, the Oakland Raiders select Quinnen Williams, defensive tackle, Alabama.
Just the boo is just way funnier.
Yeah, we're tired of those Alabama guys just going left and right. They're just all over the place. Do you have anything to add to Quinnen Williams? Mel Kiper?
I do not
God,
really.
you're Kiper?
Yeah,
He looks like Mel Kiper. You
Jeff
tell me he
looks like
doesn't.
Mel Kiper.
Souls, do you understand who I was debating between?
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't go with the other one.
So, Quinnen Williams, defensive tackle, arguably, in my opinion, arguably the best defensive player in this draft. But because he plays inside on the line versus the outside edge rusher, you don't get as much hoopla.
Yeah.
I know that the Aaron Donalds of the world, which is just him, but as I'm saying, he's a freak of nature, Donald, and Williams has that potential, but name me another defensive tackle that does what Aaron Donald does versus all the edge rushers that get sacks. But he's 6'3", he's 303, he got a 6.7 grade. He ran a 4.8 in the 40-yard dash, very impressive for a defensive lineman. He also got 30 on the vertical and 112 on the broad. One thing I'd be curious to see is what he could do on a bench press. He elected not to do that at the combine. But just like the guys before, just like a lot of guys come after him, a lot of strengths, not as many weaknesses. But he's a low man winner. He's gonna out battle you in the leverage category every time. He sets up quick on blockers, and he has insane hand accuracy. He can adjust very quickly within blocking schemes. He's able to brace very well against impact blockers. He's got great strength and body control as a two-gapper, and he just diagnoses well into the play. He has a very high IQ, and he's going to fit in real well and be able to diagnose what plays should be happening, whether it's coming from the coordinator or the quarterback of the defense. But he's just very efficient, and he's always got his knees bent and pads low down to the ground, and he's ready to light it up. Just a few weaknesses. His physical traits don't stand out as much as they should from somebody in that position. He's a little short for somebody to be playing in that position. He's a little undersized for somebody to be playing at that position. He could afford, with that being said, he could afford to put some more weight on. You're going to be going up against bigger blockers, better blockers. You're going to be going up against harder hitting running backs. Being a defensive tackle, your job is to close down those gaps and make sure that nothing's getting through. Adding a few pounds is going to help with that. He doesn't have a very thick chest or broadness of shoulders, which again kind of results into that being able to close out the gap. He's going to be quick to get to the gap. He's going to be able to read the gaps, but is he going to be able to stop people in the gap? That's the question. His size is going to be a real issue moving forward, at least on tape. And he's just not long. He's not a long defensive tackle, so he's not going to have an easy time controlling guards that aren't shoulder pad to shoulder pad in front of him.
I also think he might struggle a little bit his first year, or we'd have a lot.
So are
of
you
time.
shitting on your own pick right now? Is that what's happening?
Boo!
Analysis? Teams. You can't shit on your own pick. This isn't the Rams.
This is what he does to his own team.
These are my teams right now.
Yeah, you can't shit on your own team. It doesn't work that way. I'm going to pick this guy. Let me tell you what I hate about him. First of all, guy ordered a souffle when we took him out to dinner. Real piece of shit.
Waited 40 minutes for it.
The Tampa Bay Bucks are on the clock.
The pick is in.
Oh. That was close.
With the 5th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select linebacker Devin White out of LSU.
Is that who you're contemplating with?
I think I'm just going to boo the Maz.
That's the way to do it. All right, so Devin White, the first linebacker taken. It's crazy here. Read it.
Steelers trade up for a linebacker.
Kyle's thinking about it.
Shout out to Dave Sanderson, too, tuning in.
6 foot 237, had a low grade at the prospect, or low prospect grade at 6.24. He did run a 4.42 on the 40-yard, 22 on the bench, just under 40 on his vertical, 118 on his broad. He put up good combine numbers. He is a little undersized, but he's got shorter legs but a long torso. Gives him a very big advantage on the center of gravity, which is very important for a linebacker, as somebody who's going to be cutting a lot, whether it's coverage or blitzing, blocking or shedding blockers. It's all going to be a great thing. He's very unorthodox in his style of play. He's not like a prototype of any one player we've seen in the NFL, but he makes impactful plays and he finds a way to get to the football all the time. He has an insane appetite for learning. He's in the film room and the weight room all the time. At LSU, he's an absolute hungry individual, ready to be the best he can be. He's amazing at shooting the gaps, and his agility to go from gap to gap is insane. Just a few weaknesses on him. His natural instincts are average. He's very good by the play. He's very good at diagnosing the play and what needs to be done. But if it goes off script, it's not necessarily going to go smoothly for him, at least in the beginning. He's also fooled a little bit easier for a top 5 pick in misdirections and fakes. And he needs to work on his footwork. This is a big thing for me. He's got a lot of false steps in his initial movements, whether it's shooting the gap or dropping back into coverage. And NFL coaches and coordinators are going to pick those things out instantaneously. But he's going to be an absolute unit for a Tampa Bay team that needs everything on defense. This could be the guy to build around for the future, and I think it was a good pick. Thank you. You're welcome. I think it was a good pick. That's all I got to say. The New York Giants are on the clock.
I'm calling the Giants.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
I am the Miami Dolphins.
Prove it.
I'm offering a swap of 13 and 6, a second round this year, second round next year, and a 5th rounder next year.
No.
Okay.
All right. It was a fair trade, though.
It was a fair trade, but the guy I'm picking, I think the Giants will want him.
So the pick is in?
Pick is in.
Here comes Drew Lock.
The Giants select edge rusher Montez Sweat. Nope.
All
So
right.
do you agree?
Better than Rashawn Gary.
All right. Well, Montez Sweat. All right. Edge rusher. Something the Giants need. 6'6", 260. Had a 6.3 for a grade. Ran a 4.4 at the 40. 21 on the bench. 36 vertical. Had a very impressive 125 on the broad jump. Would have liked to seen better from him out of a shuttle, but not too shabby. He's going to continue growing. That's a big thing for him. He's still in the middle of a growth spurt for him. He's got a humongous power for his frame and body makeup. He's got a hidden strength in his upper body, despite what his frame might do right now. He has an amazing ability to separate from his blockers. He's got great leverage points, and he uses the length he has to his advantage. He's got very long arms and can completely shake up a blocker's frame. And he's got very slippery hips. My favorite analysis.
Slippery hips.
So, some things he needs to work on. His upfield rush approach is very choppy and inconsistent. He doesn't play very fluid in transitions and counters. He needs to really improve on his handwork. It's not fast enough. It's not violent enough. You have to be able to really, fist fight these blockers out of the way, especially if you're trying to get to the quarterback. And he just doesn't have enough power and muscle strength in his lower half. He needs to really work on his legs to get that explosiveness really working in his favor. He's going to be one of those people that he's going to beat guards with the handwork, but if he can keep the handwork going and improve his explosiveness, this guy has the ability to be a 15 sack a season guy.
I'm going to say a game?
Yeah, until he tears his ACL
Bring
and
it
gets
on.
traded to the Patriots.
Ugh.
Red Kuiper?
Definitely has to get stronger. Red Cup, I like it a lot.
Sounds like a fish.
A guy definitely has to get stronger. Something interesting here. Started off his career in college actually as a tight end. And we've actually seen a lot of players that start off offensively that transition to a defensive player, especially line or linebacker, tend to make a splash early but not always have the lasting impact. So we'll have to see moving forward, if, he does, kind of grow into his size and position, if he will really shape up or if he's just a flash in the pan in college.
The Jacksonville Jaguars are on the clock.
All right.
Is the pick in?
The pick is in.
Bass is me one of those guys who's like, he's not going to say the pick is in. He's just going to start rattling things off. Oh, phone call from the commissioner.
Bring.
We'll give you more if you go to London.
No.
You don't have choice.
No. With the 7th overall pick in the 2019 Getting Sports,
Just say the name.
the Jaguars select T.J. Hawkinson, tight end, Iowa.
Hold on.
The first of the Iowa tight ends taken. The first of the Iowa tight ends taken. What do you have to say about that, Mel Red?
Well, what I have to say first, as a bias, what a great name. It's a shame that he didn't go to Seattle. Coming out of the draft somewhat young, in my opinion, I feel as though, somebody could definitely, grow into that position a little bit more. Decent blocker, decent receiver downfield. Jaguars, looking to, build on that running game, so you can definitely add to that. Plays average speed, I would guess what I would say with him. He's not going to blow past anybody. Posted a 4.740 time, so it's just, it's a big guy. He's I don't have his height and weight here.
He's a go up and get him guy. 6'5", 251. He did 17 on the bench, so he can get off the line and keep some of the defenders at bay. He's got a 37 on his vertical and a 123 on the broad. He's going to be your vertical threat. That's what he's going to be. He's not going to be. He's going to be the Rob Gronkowski style tight end. He's going to out muscle you for the ball. He's not going to beat you with his speed. He's extremely competitive and athletic. He has amazing out of the gate speed. He might not have a great top speed. His acceleration is through the roof. He's very fluid in his intermediate and deep work. He runs at a leveraged rate, meaning like he's always going to have the upper hand in his route. He has an insanely large catch radius. He's got very crisp inside hands when he has to stay in and block, and he's an athletic specimen. On the weakness side, he's a little narrow. He needs more muscle mass to be that big, go up and get him type of guy. He can do some work to get away from zone defenders to help out the quarterback. He tends to kind of just stick to his route instead of reading the zone. And he also gets very overeager as a run blocker. He goes, instead of letting his assignment come to him, he goes out and charges his assignment, which is going to lead to a lot of missed blocks. And he just needs a little bit more anticipation and adjustment to moving targets. But He like I said, he right now he has the mold and the build and all the ability to go out and be the big, go out and get him Travis Kelce style tight end. But he needs to work on like the unsung hero stuff of the tight end position. The Rob Gronkowski's and Jason Witten's do so well. I think it's a good pick. I think it's a much needed offensive help for the Jaguars, especially all the offseason issues that they've been having with the running back position. They're going to need a playmaker on the offensive side of the ball. I don't disagree.
Souls, what'd you think?
About the pick?
Yeah.
It was alright.
All right.
Is this going to be like a thing? Are we going to ask Souls' approval on every pick?
I feel
hope
like
he
the
asked me
offensive
everyone.
line was a bigger need, but hey.
And that's why you guys are, the
You
drafters.
get a weapon, and you get somebody who can get down inside and block.
You're right, but they're ass on the
Can't
offensive
really
line.
block. He's okay.
What number are we on? 8?
Yes.
Yeah, the Detroit Lions are in, are up on the clock.
Quick pause. Am I allowed to trade with myself?
Yes.
Present it so then I can say no.
All right. Miami trying to trade up with Detroit, swap picks, a second, and next year's third.
This year's second?
Yeah.
I think it's fair. What do you
All
think?
right. Shake hands.
That's 13 to 8 though. That's quite a jump.
With the eighth
They're
pick
also getting the eighth
in the
pick in the
2019
second round.
NFL draft.
Yeah,
It
I
might
was
be
talking.
Is the pick in?
Yeah, dude, my pick is in.
All right, we got to say that.
Sorry.
I got this soundbite for a reason.
With the eighth pick in the 2019 NFL draft, Miami Dolphins select quarterback Dwayne Haskins out of Ohio State.
Boo.
Actually.
Boo.
Suck it, fellas.
The first real quarterback is taken here at Radio City Music Hall.
Boo.
Dwayne Haskins, junior out of Ohio State, 6'3", 231, had a 6.2 on the draft scale. Entering all the offseason draft analysis and before the combine was regarded as arguably the best quarterback coming out of this draft class. Some things have changed. Some people are more likely. Some people are thinking Drew Lock might be more that way, or some other quarterbacks. He posted a 5.04 on his 40-yard dash. I would have liked to see that be a little faster from his style of play, but he did put up a 28.5 on the vertical. Not really sure why that's important.
You never seen a quarterback jump?
Well, I mean, no, you've seen the jump passes. I've seen those before, but he's groomed for this position. He's groomed for the big stage. He has a very rare passing production for a quarterback of his age, and he's also got mentoring from. It might not sound that big of a deal to most people because this isn't a household name for wide receivers, but he's been mentored by Mohamed Sanu, who is an established wide receiver in the NFL and has been productive throughout his entire career.
And an established quarterback.
And he's very well schooled and an understanding of how to keep himself protected. He is not afraid to take the deep shot or make the big throw to win, which is very important in a rookie quarterback. A lot of times you see people get hesitant on trying to do those deep ball throws. He's very confident. He doesn't show signs of shakiness even during a bad game. He has an effortless throwing motion, and he scans his targets with the ball tucked close to his body with his feet always moving. Very important for any quarterback, in my opinion. He's part of a very small list of quarterbacks that are going to be fighting for success with such a low number of career starts. He also lacks in-game adversity challenges for an early round pick. He has very unusual follow-through, leaving his lower half behind, which can often lead into putting too much into the ball. And he's still learning to attack zone coverages. He's proven what he can do against man, but against zone, which a lot of defensive coordinators like to use because it helps you pick up different packages. And he's also very easily baited into bad decisions. So he need his ball security. His ball security once the ball's out of his hand is the question. I think he's going to be great in the pocket, though, in terms of keeping plays alive. He has that Aaron Rodgers style footwork and keeping the ball close to his body to extend the plays. I think that he's groomed to be a success in the NFL, but I don't think any of these quarterbacks, in my opinion, are ready to start right away.
I agree a lot with what the Riddler is saying. I will say, though, a slow 40 time, not always, sometimes it just happens. It doesn't always represent what the player is going to be on the field. Good touch passer. He did benefit for a lot with having good receivers in Ohio State, completing 70% of his passes. I think he definitely, what we saw here, a team trading up, I think it's very possible. Any team could do this. To get a player, I agree with Riddler, not ready to play right now, but a good guy that'll be groomed, and I think will be a starter, and a starter for a long time. Lack of foot quickness, which I think just attributes to perhaps kind of not a lack of confidence, but trying to do too much. And I think with just like sitting under somebody, you could really get down the little things, and someone who's got a good IQ will really benefit from that.
The Buffalo Bills are on the clock.
The pick is in. At number 9, the Buffalo Bills select wide receiver DK Metcalf, Ole Miss.
That's a shocker.
I think the Bills jump at him.
I know you're a big Metcalf fan, Red Kuiper over there, so.
Big fan. He's a machine. Ran a 4.340, 40.5 inch vertical, and 11.2 broad jump, 27 lifts. He's 6'3", 228 pounds. Just a monster out there. A great asset for any team. Looking to add a wide receiver. For me, Buffalo has made certain moves at the wide receiver position. That I think it perhaps didn't warrant a receiver at this time. I think just about anything else would have been good for Buffalo. But with that being said, a good guy to add to your roster, and I think is a name that we will be hearing about for a long time.
DK Metcalf is very explosive and very physical. He's going to fight for every single ball. He has the ability to come down in single, double, and triple coverage with a ball thrown deep down the field. Things to like about him are his physical nature. He is a decent run blocker down the field, which in Buffalo you're going to have to be able to do because you're not only blocking for McCoy, you're going to be blocking for Allen. He has the strength and the handwork to get corners off of the line of scrimmage and be able to blow past them. He does have decent speed for as much of a physical natured receiver as he has. The big negative to him, which has been the talk since the combine, he doesn't show the ability to get in and out of cuts. He doesn't show the ability to do those quick four step in routes. He doesn't show the ability to do those shimmy shake post patterns. He's going to be his straight line speed, straight line strength. He can do the veer off patterns like the very standard post route or a slant route type of thing. But any sort of complicated stick your foot into the ground and cut type of move, he hasn't shown that he has the ability to do that type of thing, which can be a problem for Buffalo because with a young quarterback, you want receivers that create separation. That's my take on it. The Denver Broncos are on the clock.
The pick is in. With the 10th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos select offensive lineman Jawan Taylor out of the University of Florida.
Big fan of this pick.
Now,
All right, here we go. Kyle's been itching to just get in here and explain this is the reason I picked this guy. Is that what you wanted to do?
no. Well, I only picked him because he fell.
You fell quite a bit.
If he didn't fall, Drew Lock was the pick, but I think they're going to try and protect Joe Flacco.
Oh my God, I forgot he's a Bronco. Like, wait, what?
It's like, you idiot. He's a Raven.
I forgot he's a Bronco.
How'd you forget that?
Because they're going to be bad.
What?
I don't think they'll be that good.
Better than the Giants.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. 6'5", 312, tackle. 6.21 on his prospect grade. He's just shown a lot of ability to shut down the incoming pass rush. He is very quick with his hands. He's got good footwork. He's a little undersized, in my opinion, for a tackle. I think he needs to put a little bit more weight on, especially in his thighs and in his hips. He needs to be able to be a lot quicker off of the first initial step. He tends to go a little bit more into blockers or into rushers versus letting them come to him, which is a very, especially with these elite pass rushers in the NFL, especially against the Chargers and in division rivals, they're going to eat you up with that first step swim move or the bait and switch nose tackle defensive end. He's going to get standing like a statue. So I think it's a great pick. I think that Jawan Taylor is one of those few players in this draft that would be a home run for any team. I think he could fit into any team right now. And I think he's a stud. I think he has potential to be it's hard to say this, but I think he has potential to be the best player out of this draft.
Long arms, very quick plays. Traditionally, right tackle, but can play guard, which is a premium in this league. I think the draft should be all offensive line, honestly, because that's the most important position.
Everyone needs more offensive linemen.
That's right. So it's always a good pick
And
drafting a
kickers.
lineman. So I'm satisfied with this pick, and I agree with what Riddler said. That someone kind of unsung hero, an offensive lineman who never really gets the love. Because it's not a very glamorous position, but
It's
can
not
be
a sexy pick.
right. But could end up being perhaps the best in the draft.
I remember a few years ago, I think it was the 2013 or 2014 draft where the Cowboys picked Travis Frederick with like the 10th overall pick, and they got booed to hell.
The Cowboys get booed every year for their first round
Yeah.
pick.
And it
Unless
usually
they're picking
pans
somebody
out.
from the longest yard, they're not happy. The Dallas Cowboys select inmate 47.
Yeah.
Ray Rice. No. The Cincinnati Bengals are on the clock.
All right, just double checking. Pick is in.
Oh, Kyle has a trade.
So,
With the 11th pick in the draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Devin Bush.
Kyle wishes he had a trade.
I don't.
All right. He's very mad at you right now.
I know,
He
because
is.
he's picking next.
No, he's not.
Is he not? Are you picking next?
What number
Well,
are we
it's
on?
not Souls.
It's something else.
There you go. All right, Devin Bush, linebacker out of Michigan. 5'11", 234, a little on the undersized chart there. 32 inches on the arms. Ran a 4.43 in his 40-yard, 21 on the bench, had a 40 vertical, and a 124 broad jump. Very athletic individual, especially at that linebacker position. He is a very compact player with a lot of lower body strength. He trusts his eyes, which to a lot of people, they're like, what the fuck does that mean? It just means that he sees something develop, and he trusts it. Like, he doesn't overthink things. He doesn't take that extra half a second. He goes with his gut. He very rarely gets trapped due to false steps and bad footwork. He has very good patience and run blocking. He has a very good control of his body, and he is proactive with his hands to balance against washdown blocks. So he has very strong legs, and he has like a built-in GPS to maneuver around all sorts of blocking schemes and tackles and gaps, and just always finds a way to get where he needs to be. He's that type of linebacker that always is within a step of the ball at the end of a play.
Yeah.
He might not have made the tackle, but he was there. He does land below standard size for a linebacker, and he has a little bit of an average reaction time in terms of when the play is snapped. If a big offensive lineman gets to the second level, he doesn't stand a chance getting around him. They're just going to outsize him and swallow him up. And he needs to, or he needs better pursuit leverage, if that makes sense. He's small, and he's got the inside and the low ground leverage, but in terms of pursuing somebody with the ball, he doesn't have the leverage to take him down. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's got to jump to do it.
A tackler on the move is his enemy.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, a running back.
And he also runs himself out of tackles a lot by coming in at too sharp of an angle. So if he, it's all little critique work for him. He's got the big issues down. It's just the little critiques that can take you from being a bounce around 2-year linebacker on 5 teams for your career to being the Ray Lewis's and Brian Urlachers of a franchise. The Green Bay Packers are on the clock.
Pick is in. At number 12, the Green Bay Packers select offensive lineman Jonah Williams.
I wanted to play a long time.
Sorry, you really liked it.
Alabama.
Yes.
The Packers, they're one of those teams. They need offensive linemen. They can't block for Rodgers, and when Rodgers goes down, that team gets ugly quick. They need people to step in and absorb these pass rushers, and he's a big boy that can do that. He's 6'4", 302. He's got just under 34-inch arms, and he's got big almost 10.25-inch hands. Had a 6.23 grade. Did 23 on the bench. Had a 100-inch broad, and he did an 8 on the 3-cone and just under a 5 on his 20-yard shuttle, which were very impressive for the offensive lineman. He plays with a very strong technique, and he very rarely goes off the beaten path from the fundamentals of how to play his position. Fundamentals is where everything is built from in every position. The players that you see that don't have those are the ones that don't success, i.e. the Eric Flowers and other players of those calibers.
That guy sucked.
They just don't have the fundamentals. He in his college career, he's had very noticeable improvements every year, and he's very athletic with very fluid movements. His initial steps out of his stance are very quick and controlled, and he has amazing lateral quickness. Also very good acceleration for backside blockers, and he's very rhythmic in his combo blocking, meaning first to second level. There's some concerns about his lack of arm strength. He's got the leverage. He's got the length, but not necessarily the strength. He's got a smaller frame by the tackle positions, but he's still a big guy. He would definitely be benefited at this size and playing weight to be swapped into play at the guard position, but that would take away from his ability for those quick lateral movements and his athleticism, because you're playing a guard, unless you're running a stunt, you're not really going to be swapping out to get backside blockers as a guard. And he has an inconsistent outside hand. Again, that's one of those things. You switch him inside, becomes a little different. And he needs to maintain a better knee bend as a drive blocker, rather than locking his knees up and doing a stand-up block job. But overall, stud. We're going to say that for a lot of these guys. Probably all of them.
Scouts are actually comparing him to Joe Thomas. No joke. So
Have you seen Joe Thomas now? Now you brought him
a
up.
lot different.
He's so much lighter. It's just
The Miami Dolphins are on the clock.
nope.
No, that's right. The Detroit Lions are on the clock.
With the 13th pick,
Pick is in.
the pick is in. Sorry.
Calm down over
You
there.
should
Kuiper.
start playing it as he said.
With the 13th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select defensive end Rashawn Gary out of the University of Michigan.
6'4", 277. Had a 6.31 on his grade. Ran just under a 4.6 in his 40-yard. 26 on the bench, which is very impressive. 38 vertical, 120 on the broad. Rashawn Gary is one of those players that I think a lot of people are expecting a lot from, but are also very skeptical. He obviously, if you're going with the 13th overall pick, you're expected to be a start-now impact player, but he's going to need development throughout his NFL career. He has a very freaky build in terms of his height, weight, and speed. It's unlike anything people have seen before. He's very active with his build, and he has all the tools to set a very strong edge. He's very forceful for the initial contact point, and he's very good at keeping balance doing that. He has disruptive qualities when he decides to bend and play low, and he's got very good pursuit speed from the backside, and is also good at making tackles down down the field. His production as a rusher, though, failed to match the traits and the talent that he possesses, and his rush plan is basic at this stage of his development, which you're talking top 15 pick. His hands lack skill, and he lacks classic hip bend to dip and run in the arc. He has a long arm bull rush, and that's his only real rush tool. He needs to develop some form of a swim move or some sort of a dump hook or something like that to get in and out. And he tends to lose pad levels on his inside counters. Like I said, I think he's one of those players that he's going to be expected to make an impact now. And a team like Detroit, I think that's a very solid place for him to land up with Patricia, a defensive-minded guru coming from the Belichick school of defense. If there's anybody that can put him in to make an impact for his team while continuing developing, I think it's Patricia. I think Rashawn Gary's success in the NFL was more based off of where he went versus his abilities. Red Baron?
Great player, very raw, very athletic. I don't have a problem with the player. I have a problem with the pick. I think Stafford is a guy who's kind of been under duress the past couple seasons, and I think if they're serious about him being the quarterback moving forward, protection is key. And I feel that Patricia is perhaps putting more emphasis on defense than offense, and if he's serious about having a balanced team, some attention should be paid to the offense. That's the only feelings I have in the pick. But as a player, I think he's got a lot of potential, and under Patricia, it is a good fit because he is the defensive guru and could shape up to be a monster. But I think in the grand scheme of things, the Lions need to think about the offensive side of the ball as well.
The Atlanta Falcons are on the clock.
The pick is in. With the 14th pick, the Atlanta Falcons select Ed Oliver, defensive line, Houston.
Ed Oliver, 6'2", 287, 6.26 on his grade. He put up 32 on the bench, very impressive. Also put up a 120 on the broad. He's a freak of nature in terms of his athleticism. He has very high-end front-side quickness. He's built low, and he plays with a lot of leverage. He has very freak workouts expected for quickness and explosion testing, and he explodes into blockers with an extreme pop. He's very instinctive, very good at diagnosing plays before and as they're happening, has very rare initial quickness for somebody of his size at his position, and in just 3 years of college ball, he popped 53 tackles for loss, which is very impressive.
Wow. He's a monster.
Scouts say that he played under 280. He put on the weight for the combine as the initial thing. So how is that going to play out? Is he going to play at 280 in the NFL, or is he going to try to play bigger? He also lacks functional length. He's got the length, but he just doesn't use it to his advantage in the right ways. He doesn't do well against the double team. He often will get very easily mauled down by them, and he also struggles when the offense decides to run downhill directly at him. And he also gets clogged up against wide bodies. So he's got a lot of athleticism. He's got a lot of instinctual explosive power at the word I'm looking for, at the point of attack. He's got very good instincts. He's got very good diagnostics in terms of reading the play. He just needs to work a little bit more on the actual getting the job done, and he needs to kind of build up. If he's going to put the weight on, I don't have a problem with him playing at 280. It's a little undersized for the NFL. I don't have if that's where he's comfortable playing, you got to play where you're comfortable. You can't put on weight just to put on weight, and you got to make sure you put on the good weight. But if he's gonna play at a 3+ rate, he's got to put on the good weight, and he's got to learn to use it to his advantage.
You don't want to Jamarcus Russell it. That's what you're saying.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
The Washington Redskins are on the clock.
The pick is in.
We all know who this is.
With the 15th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Washington Redskins select Drew Lock, quarterback out of Missouri.
Poor kid.
He's
He's gonna get his shin bone snapped.
That's not nice. What makes you say that?
But it's true.
What makes you say that?
It happened to 2 quarterbacks in back-to-back weeks for them last year.
3 in total. And for a franchise's career.
That's true.
Mm.
Salt?
Somebody wrote some methane down here.
The first pick we've got for a player that received under a 6 on the draft grade. 6'4", 228. He put up a 4.69 on his 40-yard. He also put up a 7 on his cone and 4.12 on his 20-yard shuttle. He now with the analysis of the quarterbacks changing up a little bit as the Kyler Murray thing has kind of become more cemented as the number 1 overall pick. People have been wondering who might be the best quarterback. Drew Lock has definitely made a case for himself. He has a very prototypical combination of size and arm talent, something we see from a player like an Aaron Rodgers. He's a full field reader with the ability to scan and process quickly, which is very important, especially for a rookie quarterback. You want him making sure that he's getting the right target, the right option, not just the first option. He's very good in the pocket in terms of sudden movements. He throws with anticipation, and he's got a very quick ball handle. He's very, very confident in his ability to throw the ball down the field and make challenging throws, and he fires frozen ropes through the fucking gaps that ball shouldn't be going into. He does have frustrating inconsistencies with his accuracy and his touch. I think he threw for under 60% completion for his time in college. He fires fastballs on short throws when a changeup is needed. Kind of like the John Elway aspect, throws the ball just throws it too hard. The John Elway Brock Osweiler comparison there, like you don't see the touch pass, and that's important, especially when you're trying to get somebody up over a linebacker.
Yeah.
He requires more disciplined footwork in the pocket. He's quick with it, but it's not always what it needs to be. And his production falls greatly when he's forced to move his feet outside the pocket and throw on the run. He's inconsistent in squaring up to throw, and his decision making matches the level of pressure he's seeing. So if he has a lot amount of time in the pocket, he makes the right decision, whether it's a throw into double coverage or not. It'll come down in his guy's hands, but if he's getting, if they're sending the house at him, he's going to make a poor decision. Red Kuiper, got anything to add?
I think foreseeably, Drew Lock will be the second quarterback to go. And I think if the Redskins need a quarterback for sure, and I think it's the best fit moving forward. There is some bad luck if you go play in Washington. However, I think it's the appropriate pick for the Redskins and one that they'll be happy with.
The Carolina Panthers are on the clock.
The pick is in.
Mass looks at him like, who has it? I have it.
I was waiting to see if they wanted to trade.
Nobody wants to trade with you.
That's fine.
We don't like you.
Halfway through the draft, with the 16th overall pick, the Carolina Panthers select Cody Ford, Oklahoma.
They really don't like you here.
No,
What's his position?
Guard.
The pick is fine, but he told us where we were in the draft. You know where we were in the draft.
6'4", 330, 5'2", on the 40-yard, 19 on his bench, which is a little shaky in my opinion for an offensive lineman, especially one that goes this high in the draft. He is very rare though in terms of his mass with his athleticism. He's a top prospect off of the Joe Moore Award-winning offensive line. His experience and tools to play. He has the experience and tools to play both tackle and guard on either side, which does make him a very important piece to get to any team. I mean, you're talking about switching him up into 4 different offensive line positions. He's got great pop into his initial contact, and he's got the power to bulldoze down blockers in the first line and the second line. There's plays out there of him in college getting to the third line on long runs, and for somebody talking 300 plus pounds,
that's moving.
Yeah, you're moving. You got athleticism. He's a natural bender, meaning he gets low and he gets his leverage, and he's got extreme eye-popping downfield speed. His 40-yard dash speed doesn't equate to what he does when he gets moving into the third level. But he needs additional work in his pass sets, especially to make it as an NFL tackle. He had some very troubling reps against the Alabama defense, which, sure, it's just one game, but for a lot of these college players, the Alabama team is the closest scrimmage you're going to have to an NFL team. He could be more effective with his use of his length in pass protection, and he's got tardy hands that give away his length to his opponents. He needs better core engagement for a more improved balance. He finds himself on one foot or getting shaken off a little too easily. And he could definitely use more patience in his second level approach. He's got the speed and the size to easily maul down any defensive lineman in the NFL, including those of like the Khalil Macks and Aaron Donalds. He's just got the size and athleticism to do it. But once he gets into the second level, instead of reading where his running back's going to go, he just finds the first guy and he blocks him.
Just hits him.
Exactly, and it doesn't always work to his favor. But I think it's a good pick. Do you have anything to add? No? Good?
Just real quick, I besides the boo was a joke.
You just chime in.
I'm sorry.
You're part of this, Kuiper.
Panthers, a good pick. Offensive line, always an excellent pick. There's a quote here that I really liked. You need to hire a taxi to get around him. And I think that speaks volumes about his presence on the line. Definitely a lot of things Riddler mentioned that he has to work on. But one thing that we'd say is that he's a good competitor and a good teammate.
The New York Giants are on the clock.
Pick is in. With the 17th pick, the Giants select cornerback Greedy Williams.
A team looking to re-bolster their secondary that was once so great not that long ago. Not surprised at this pick at all. Greedy Williams, a 6'2 cornerback on the lighter side at 185. He's got everything that you're looking for in a top-tier corner. I don't think anybody is going to be upset with the production that he provides on the field. He's going to be an instant starter for this New York Giants team that has a lot of help needed. He only elected to run the 40-yard dash at his combine, which was a 4.37, very impressive. I would have liked to see what he could offer in the vertical game just for those jump ball opportunities, because he is so tall and very disruptive. He's got the length to slow receivers looking to get in their work. He's very patient and calm in the early phases of coverage, which is something that you don't see out of a lot of young corners. They're looking to get right into the receiver's face right away. An experienced receiver is going to blow past you every time when you do something like that. He maintains the feel of the route that he's on, and can match receiver steps. He's got very smooth hips to weave in and out of changing leverages on the route. He's got good ball production over his 2 years as a starter, and he's got extremely good route recognition and long strides that drive to the passing lanes. He needs to add more muscle and strength, though. You're talking 6'2 corner that's looking to be a number one corner in the NFL at 185 pounds. That's going to be a guy, that's the build for the go up and get the, to match him step for step and ball hawk it versus be physical with him, force him out of his route and change things up. And from anybody who's watching a football, ball hawking secondary members don't last long in the NFL.
Yeah,
you're
very,
at
very
least
short.
a brain of terror. He can be jostled by physical receivers. Again, that's more due to the nature of his size. You look at, he could probably keep up pretty well with, like, a DeAndre Hopkins or maybe, like, a Julio Jones. But you start getting receivers like, even like a DK Metcalf that we just talked about. But, these receivers like the Amari Coopers and the Michael Thomases of the world, like, these are guys that use their size and their strength to really get what they've got. He also lacks initial quickness on crossing routes, and he has a very average recovery burst. He can, if it's a long stride, if he beats you if the receiver beats him off the line and he's running 20 yards on the field, he'll catch up to him by the time the ball gets there. But if it's a slant route and he gets beat, he's not going to get him in time. And he also has consistent issues with locating the football when his back's to the ball, which for somebody that has the ball hawk tendencies that he has, you have to be able to know where the ball is at all times.
Right.
And he also plays the hands a lot instead of the ball, which gets you in trouble, gets you flag problems. Because a lot of receivers are deceptive with their hands, especially the Odell Beckhams and DeAndre Hopkins, who can take one hand and put it into place because they have all the confidence in the world they're going to bring it down with the other. So,
Yeah.
But
Good pick for the Giants. Much need in the secondary. Raw talent, very quick. One drawback, not a good tackler. And we've known that some members of the secondary just aren't good tacklers. I don't know if it's the nature of the position. Riddler touched a lot on the way he plays the ball, and that's something he has to work on. But you got to be able to tackle. So it's something to work on going into camp.
Minnesota
Good
Vikings
pick.
are on the clock.
The pick is in. The Vikings select Christian Wilkins, defensive line, Clemson.
It's a booze. You boo Mass's picks.
Yeah, well, he needed a break.
He needed a break.
The one that you could have booed me.
Nah, just kidding. I'm a real stinker.
He is a stinker indeed. 6'3", 315 defensive tackle out of Clemson. 5 on the 40-yard dash, 28 on the bench, 29 vertical. Also ran a 4.55 in his 20 shuttle. This guy is a force to be reckoned with. His NFL comparisons to B.J. Hill. He's a locker room leader with character that's very impactful on the team. He especially from a Clemson team that had a very stout defensive line with a lot of top-notch players on it to be able to push that type of stuff aside and be a team player. He's got the face of the franchise personality. He's got that leadership role. He's got experience at both base end and defensive tackle. And he has instant snap reaction with very fast hands to contact. He's highly efficient in his movement with lateral quickness that disrupt gaps. And he can contort and slither around blockers' pads to get to the leverage points he needs to get to. He also shows extremely rare flexibility for somebody of his size. His initial quickness, though, gives way to fatigue as reps continue, especially in a hurry-up offense, something NFL quarterbacks love to run, especially when they see people getting fatigued throughout a game. His overall play strength can improve overall for the whole game. He doesn't have enough extension and separation after his initial hit, and his thick lower half is missing that quality anchor to keep him put so that blockers aren't pushing him backwards into the second level, creating a one-on-two blocking opportunity. He also struggles with balance a little bit, and he lacks length and power to excel in the two-gap scheme. So he's just got a lot of promise, and for what it's worth, especially I don't know that it's going to make that big of a difference in a team like Minnesota, but a player that has the ability to be a franchise personality and character right out of the gate kind of shows a lot. That it's that Baker Mayfield, it's that Juju Smith-Schuster mentality. The ability to have that personality on and off the field that just makes people love you and draws the positive energy to your team.
Fits the mold of a defensive line, 6'4", 342. Good fit, I feel. I guess the only drawback, tested positive for PEDs, so if you let bygones be bygones, I think he's a good player for your squad.
Tennessee Titans are on the clock.
The pick is in. With the 19th pick, the Tennessee Titans select edge rusher Brian Burns, Florida State.
I'd love to know at the end of this how many picks are being stolen from people, because I feel like nobody's like no big fucking deal.
Well, I'm kind of keeping track of it here.
Brian Burns, not enough to say about this guy. 6'5", 249, very big build. He put up 36 on his vertical. Elected not to do the bench press, which is always, I understand if it's due to injury reasons or whatnot, but like for me, like if I'm drafting an offensive or defensive lineman, I need the bench press. That's a big thing because it's one of the few combine things that's actually applicable to real NFL games. Your vertical means nothing to me. I don't even understand why they do the vertical. They should do like a 5-step run and jump kind of thing. Because when are you ever just, other than a Hail Mary, when are you just standing still and jumping as high as you can to get the ball? Doesn't make any sense to me. But he's got basketball athleticism. He's got an upfield burst that forces tackles out of their pass slides and into more gallops and sprints. He alters his rush speeds with sudden bursts around or inside the pass set. He's got a very long third step that propels him into clearance. He's tremendous lower body flex, and he gets the 45-degree edge bend very effectively and very efficiently, which is extremely important for somebody trying to get to the quarterback. He's got capable smooth spin moves in either direction and very quick lateral slides. He's got a thin frame, and it might not be able to handle enough weight to keep him going at the high level. He lacks functional play strength, and he gives away his position when he's setting the edge too often. He sticks to blocks once he loses his frame, which is a little bit of troublesome because at that point you're just sitting there doing nothing, and he's gonna have initial issues converting his speed to his power at the top of a rush. Work to be done. He's gonna have to find a way to put he's gonna have to find a way to build a proper frame for an edge rusher, especially at his size, because he's a big target that's gonna allure a lot of double teams, and he's gonna have to learn to use. He's got the spin move and the athleticism to get by one guy, but he's gonna need to build the framework and the strength up to get through two.
Yeah, he's got the initial quickness, needs to get stronger, but he's got a lot of upside. So,
Pittsburgh Steelers are on the clock.
The pick is in.
We'll trade you 3 bags of peanuts.
We'll trade you Antonio Brown.
You just have to call the Raiders and ask for him.
With the 28th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select defensive back Byron Murphy out of the University of Washington.
Souls sticking to his guns and not going offense. Love it. Cornerback, I think he falls a little bit off of the radar for a lot of people because this is such a pass rush heavy draft. But at 5'11" and 190, he fights. He's got a lot of fight in him. He put up 4.5 on his 40-yard. He's got a 36.5 vertical, the 120 on his broad. He has a lot of comparisons to the Brent Grimes style of play. Brent Grimes, obviously a bigger cornerback, but still plays with that same heart and tenacity. He's not small. He's just kind of underdeveloped at this point in his career. He has extremely high football IQ and instincts that teams are looking for at any stage, whether it's free agency or the draft. He's coached to maintain a sight line to the quarterback for optimal recognition for all passing opportunities. He stays in phase. He's got twitchy feet for an instant plant and drive. He made plays on 31% of his targeted throws over 2 years, and he posted 7 interceptions and 20 pass breakups and just 87 career targets. He's got good downfield body control, and he's hyper-competitive in his run support duties. He just lacks height, weight, and speed associated with the outside corner, the number 1 style corner. He's only played in 20 career games, and he's got below-average footwork to adjust to a receiver's initial release. He grabs and hitches to receivers to help match the pattern, which isn't always great because they're going to read that instantaneously. And he's quicker than fast, if that makes sense. He needs to bump his speed up, and he can be stacked by big targets easily.
Excellent pick, in my opinion. The Steelers always looking to improve the defense. Secondary has sometimes been rough.
Most times.
Most times. Agreeing with what Riddler said, only played in 20 games, which is a very small sample size, but he has a lot of upside and a very good, very high IQ. So sometimes talent outweighs the shortness of play time.
The Seattle Seahawks are on the clock.
The pick is in. The Seattle Seahawks select safety Jonathan Abrams, Mississippi State.
I think you clicked the wrong button over there.
Oh, you're right.
I think you clicked the wrong button over there. Are you clicking the booze button? I was waiting for it.
Oh, no.
Oh,
I
okay.
like the pick.
Oh, okay.
No, you don't.
I don't like the mass.
5'11", 205. He's got 31 and 3/8 inch arms. He ran a 4.45 on his 40-yard. He's got Canoe Neal type tendencies. He's got a very stout frame. He's very tough and competitive. He's got a very intimidating striker factor, much like the Harrison Smith style of play, the Cam Chancellor style of play. He plays like an extra linebacker, again, much like that Harrison Smith style of play. He's got straight line speed to close out targets, and he's got an alpha demeanor on the field, which is very important, especially from the safeties. He gets his feet moving early to help smooth his transitions and has size and strength to match on tight ends. And he's got good communication skills on the back end, which is also extremely important because sometimes your safeties see things your middle linebackers, the quarterbacks of your defense don't see. He's a little tightly bundled in his midsection and hips, which makes him a little stiff, but he's not stiff. He's not fluid. He's just kind of in that middle portion there. He's unlikely to handle coverage duties on the back end, and he's got moderate ball production. He needs to increase his anticipation, and he's going to miss tackles when coming in too hot. He over pursues, and he looks for that big hit more than he looks for the surefire tackle.
Big shoes to fill in Seattle for sure. Not great in space, but it's something that could be, worked on, with just, working with a pro squad. And I think that it's someone who will definitely, work well in that scheme.
All right, Baltimore Ravens on the clock. We got to speed this up.
Yep. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I am sorry.
Did I tell you that the pick was in?
No, but I anticipated.
Well, the
Hey.
pick is in.
Hey,
Oh, what?
hey,
What do you got?
it's the Oakland Raiders. What are
Okay.
you doing? We'll swap you. What do we got? What's coming up next? Raven,
What's your
we'll swap you
deep
24,
analysis?
Uh-huh.
and we'll give you a third this year.
I want a second.
You can piss off.
All right, so the Baltimore Ravens are on the clock.
The pick is in.
Quarterback Lamar Jackson.
With the 22nd pick, the Baltimore Ravens select wide receiver Marquise Brown, Oklahoma.
That's about right.
Who cares about the Ravens?
All right. Well,
Holla.
Biased clicker over there.
Hey, air high five. We're on good pages again.
We're on good pages.
5'9", 166 pounds. Didn't post any stats at the combine this year.
He's only 5'9".
Yeah, he's got Deshaun.
Yikes.
He's got Deshaun Jackson tendencies though. His feet never come to a halt until after the whistle. He's always moving, even in blocking schemes. He plays with all day energy. He's got terrifying top end speed. He's able to play inside as a playmaker or outside as a field stretcher. His long speed has an additional separation gear, and he's got very early turn and run from respectful cornerbacks that opens easy comeback routes. Easy burst quickness and separate out of breaks. The safety help is almost always needed in a game against him, and he's an electric maze runner after the catch, meaning yak. He's got a painfully thin frame, though, that's below minimum standards. He'll face concerns over long-term durability due to that. He relies on explosive speed, but requires more positional polish. It takes time to drop his hips and get into breaks from the sprint. He's got average hands to finish contested catches. Much like a Deshaun Jackson, he's going to be the guy that's going to beat you with his speed. He's not going to be the guy that's going to go up and get it. He's ineffective working into the teeth of coverage, and he's got inconsistent deep ball adjustments. And he also, a big thing for me too, with that kind of speed and that frame, he didn't offer any return skills at Oklahoma, which is something you kind of look for an early receiver of that age. I like the pick in the terms that it gives Lamar Jackson a deep ball threat, somebody to actually kind of chuck the ball to or throw onto a quick slant to get himself out of trouble. The part I don't like about it is that for the Ravens, if they're going to go receiver, I would have expected them to go a more DK Metcalf big receiver type of route, that option that was going to provide blocking for Lamar Jackson down the field, because until they prove otherwise, they're going to be a run quarterback first team, and you need receivers that can block in that instance. Because once Lamar Jackson takes off with the ball, Brown's speed means nothing. The Houston Texans are on the clock.
The pick is in. With the 23rd pick in the draft, the Houston Texans select tight end Noah Fant out of the University of Iowa.
I don't hate it.
The second of the two Iowa tight ends are off the board now. 6'4", 249. Put up 4.5 on his 40-yard, 39.5 on the vertical. Had amazing production, which is something to be said when you have TJ Hawkins is on the other side of you. Has comparisons to Eric Ebron. He's a mega athlete who excels in the triple jump, high jump, and basketball outside of football. He accelerates off the snap for an immediate seam and an attack. Big initial burst of gains and runs with long strides down the field. Had nearly 1 touchdown for every 4 catches in his career in Iowa. Wow! And he sinks and scoops on the low throws. Speed to open it up and take it after the catch as well. He's thin through his waist and his lower body, and he lacks the grit and play strength necessary at the point of attack. He needs to compete a lot harder on his backside blocks, and he's too affected by route contact, which is going to be a big deal, especially with those middle linebackers and stuff doing the chipping and the 5 yards there in the NFL. He's slow to turn and find the ball and make the adjustments to the underthrown balls. And when he senses traffic, he loses his focus, leading to crucial drops. So he needs to get out of his own head, essentially. He needs to, the players that embrace the hitting, the receivers that embrace the hitting in the NFL are the ones that are often most successful. The Larry Fitzgeralds of the NFL that know that they're going to get popped and are more concerned with hanging onto the ball than they are with whatever comes out of getting hit. But it was only a matter of time. The Houston Texans have been missing that big type receiver, that playmaking receiver to kind of complete that offense. The Oakland Raiders are on the clock.
The pick is in.
I wish the NFL draft was this fast.
Yeah. With the 24th pick, the Oakland Raiders select.
You sure you don't want to trade up from 27?
You're right. Hey, it's the Oakland Raiders. Looking to trade with the Oakland Raiders. They'll
go.
swap picks with you. Perfect.
I need more. Go ahead.
The Oakland Raiders select Josh Jacobs, running back, Alabama.
Interesting pick. The Raiders are in need of a running back. There's questions at that position, especially with the exit of Lynch to be soon. He's got a Sony Michel style play to him. Not to mention, doesn't hurt to have the Alabama pedigree on your side.
Except if you're a running back.
No, Mark Ingram's doing all right for himself. But he's built like you want with low center of gravity. He's forceful and violent as a finisher and gives extra effort for successful short yardage carries. He's patient but decisive on outside zone runs, and he allows blockers to do their job before just hitting a gap. He has gas to bounce it to around the corner and footwork for controlled cuts in tight quarters. He's also good effectiveness as a pass catcher used out of the backfield in packages. He's got a low percentage of explosive carries, though, and might not have enough speed to hit the home run rush. His gather and cut is slightly exaggerated, and he struggles to slow, gather, and cut beyond the second level. He doesn't create enough indecision in open field tacklers either. The Philadelphia Eagles are on the clock.
Hey,
What do you got, Mass?
it's the Raiders. We'll give you 27 and a 4th.
Man, just a 4th to move up 2 spots.
The back end of the first.
He's desperate. Give him what he wants.
Give me a 3rd.
Can I check which of the thirds they have? Can I check what 3rd round picks I have? I don't know that off the top
I don't
of my
think
head.
they
You have
have
to
one.
You have to give them the. Yeah, I don't think you have one either.
They gave it to the Steelers.
Let's see, hold on.
Was it?
Yeah, because it was the third. And
Didn't they get a
fifth.
3rd back though from? Did they get a 3rd back from Chicago?
No, they got first and second. They got first and second in next year's first, and the Bears got Khalil Mack in next year's second.
Okay.
I would do it, but send him a very damp Philly cheesesteak.
They're all damp.
That's correct. We did trade it to the Steelers. I'll give you a 4th round pick.
No.
No.
All right.
Phone call.
Eagle. Oh God, here we go.
Indianapolis Colts here.
Ooh.
Well, in the swap picks,
What do they have?
They have the next pick.
Okay.
a 2nd round and a 5th round this year.
Yeah.
All right.
Jokes on you, I got 2.
Indianapolis Colts are on the clock.
In the 25th pick in the 2019 NFL draft.
Is the trade in? Is the pick in?
The pick is in. Sorry.
Can I guess?
I'll take the private stock for that again.
That's all right.
Souls, can I guess
What?
who it is?
Just
Yeah.
let him say it.
All right, go ahead. You
Come
said
on.
that.
With the 25th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts select defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons out of Mississippi State.
Moves being made here at Radio City Music Hall in Tennessee. 6'4", 301 pounds, 6.67 on his prospect grade. Big stud. NFL comparisons to Ndamukong Suh pre-Lions injuries. But he looks the part of the bust with an athletic and chiseled frame. Rare combination of power and movement. He's got quick twitch snap reactions, and he plays under opponents' pads with a very powerful, well-placed punch. Impressive core strength and body control with the possession of power to split double teams. He's also got a very mean slide and swim winner when he's working the gaps, and agility for lateral slide pursuits. His instincts are average. He can be slow to diagnose and defeat the blocking schemes. He allows edge pressures to catch him cleanly on his down blocks, and he doesn't always set proper edges, focuses on initial blocker, and loses sight of the football from time to time.
All right.
I like it.
So it's back to me with the Eagles.
Yep.
All right. I'm calling myself from the Packers.
Okay.
The Packers will offer the 30 and the 44 to trade up with the Eagles. So go from 30 to 26. The Eagles pick up the 30 and then the 44th.
That's fair. I'm running out of room on this notebook, though.
Okay, so we're in.
We're in.
All
Green
right.
Bay is on the clock.
Green Bay with the 26th pick. Oh, sorry, the pick is in.
It's like Goodell's drunk dad.
I have a 4-second clip to play. Let me play it.
The Packers select defensive lineman Dexter Lawrence.
You okay over there, Souls?
Is he okay?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I had a long day.
You sure?
Yeah.
I missed who you picked. I'm sorry.
Defensive line Dexter Lawrence. Clemson.
Oh, okay. Another one of those big Clemson boys coming out. I like it a lot. What are you doing over there?
why that was a movement.
Killing me.
Fuck yourself.
All right, Dexter Lawrence, 6'4", 342, 6'19" on his grade. He's got a lot of traits that resemble Sean Rogers. He's got a very enormous frame, and he's healthier and much quicker in 2018 than he was in previous years. He's got very impressive athletic ability, agility to defeat or recover quickly from cut blocks, and possesses booming upper body power. Has potential to eat double teams and let his linebackers roam free, and ball carriers are finished once he gets his hands on them. He's been unable to equal impressive production from his freshman season. He has average rush talent, likely to limit his draft value, which we could kind of see it did a little bit here. Lacks looseness as a rusher to find the edges, and basic rush counter is relatively ineffective. And he also gets caved by double teams when he doesn't sink his post. The Oakland Raiders are on the clock.
I'm calling you, bro. I'm the New England Patriots.
Oh, God, no!
Click.
Can I guess? who you're
Shut up,
picking?
Bill!
I'm giving you both my second round picks and a third round.
Click.
Idiot.
I'm not taking that.
I got a second round pick in like the 40s, so
I know. I
Two
should probably
second round
take
picks
that.
in the fourth, you said?
third.
Third?
Couple of second rounders in the.
2 second rounders and a third? I would take that.
Drop the second and the fourth. Swap your first.
No.
Just like that. No.
So
He
you
kind of
want-
sounded like
You want the
Belichick.
32nd pick and the top of the 2 seconds?
No, the lower second round
So
pick.
you want the 32nd pick and the 64th pick?
Sure.
No.
Okay.
See ya.
You're on the clock.
All right. The pick is in.
Mm-hmm.
The Oakland Raiders select Rocky Sin, cornerback Temple.
Fucking great name.
I wasn't expecting Soul to say. I thought it would say like fucking stupid pick or something like that.
too.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
Has Jeffrey Simmons been drafted?
Yes.
Okay, I thought so. I just wanted to be
I
sure.
just played
Private-
traded you before.
Private stock.
I just wanted to make sure because I've been checking off guys. I just wanted to make sure.
All right, so Rocky Sin, other than having a great name, 6 foot, 192, 5'8" on his grade. Nate Harrison comparabilities. He's really long with carved up physique. Coaches loved him after just a couple months in their program over there at Temple. He's light in his back pedal, possesses foot quickness for extended mirroring of releases, has potential for extended mirroring as well, plays into catch point with aggressive hands and decent closing bursts for attack throws, and he's also very willing and able to help in the run support. He's not as disruptive from press coverage as he should be, and he needs more technique work. He struggles to maintain proper leverage and false steps at the top of his drop. Long speed is just average, and he gets climbed and stacked at times. He also has a tendency to grab and face guard rather than turn and locate. The Chargers
Great name.
are on the clock.
You said Chargers?
Yes, sir.
Pick is in.
I'm calling you, bro.
Oh, hold on.
New England Patriots.
We're
New
going to
England
a quick commercial
Patriots.
break.
Same trade I sent to the.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat it?
2 second-rounders and a third round.
You're losing your first round, though.
But you're also gaining a high second round, a low second
What's
round.
the high second round?
40s.
Yeah, I'm not sure
So
where.
it's like the 12th. Well, I think it's like the 12th or 15th pick in the
Yeah.
second round.
Where did they get that from?
I don't know. Philly. No, I don't know. We'll talk about it later.
Probably compensatory pick. Why not?
So you'd have 3 second-round picks and 2 third-round picks.
I'm gonna say no.
Idiot.
Chargers.
The pick is in.
They got it from you.
With the 28th pick, the Los Angeles Chargers select offensive line Caleb McGarry.
You could have got him with the 40 pick.
Well, I got him here. Take that, Patriots.
How do you spell his last name?
MC capital Gary.
Excellent. Good for you. Caleb McGarry.
All right, now Souls is going to trade with himself.
I'm not. But the pick is in.
That's well, good. I didn't give a draft analysis.
Do we get to talk about my pick, Kyle?
6'7", 317. Big boy. Guy knows how to eat people up. He's got Matt Sloss in comparisons. Good for him. That's a good name right there. He's got good lean muscle mass on an NFL frame. He's mentally tough and has faced and overcome a lot of adversity already. He can unlock his hips for additional force into his first contact, plus a lot of leg drive to grind up opponents and blow running lanes open. He has adequate second-level radar and loves to finish with maximum force when opportunity calls for it. He's inconsistent in sustaining blocks once he's forced to move his feet, and he could benefit from a wider base and more snatch and secure with his hands. His feet are a little too heavy and sticky to redirect and recover against quality inside moves, and he turns and lunges when challenged around the corner by top-edge speed. The Kansas City Chiefs are on the clock.
Yeah, the pick is in. With the 29th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select defensive back DeAndre Baker out of Georgia University.
Now, did you just not trade with yourself because, as the Chiefs, you thought you needed this more than what the Patriots were going for?
Yeah.
All right. I like that. I like that you put on both GM caps instead of just keeping the Patriots one on.
I also think we would have voted down any Patriots trade, so
I
Don't
love
worry,
it.
I got a couple more
I
trades.
took
up my
that into
sleeve.
account.
I love the Patriots. 5'11", 193, 5'9", grade average. Asante Samuel comparisons. Consistency and competitiveness are his hallmarks. No touchdowns allowed with 5 interceptions since 2017. Has quick trigger to turn and sprint when needed. Foot quickness to stay tied to early phase of routes. He also dials into opponent's route speed and stays in phase with a good feel for timing of route breaks for effective matching. He also loves to squat and lurk on underneath routes from the off-man position and impressive burst to close out routes. He's small by the NFL standards, and matching against NFL size on the outside could be a concern. He's grabby when he's trailing complex routes, and he plays a little too tall in space. Physically at the top of routes will be flagged in the pros, and he's also dropped potential takeaway opportunities a little more than you would like to see from a top corner. The Philadelphia Eagles are on the clock.
Yeah, I'm calling you, bro. I'm giving you my highest second.
What team are you, Kyle?
I'm the Patriots. You should know this. Highest second in the 4th round.
Yeah, I'm calling you. I need.
You have what? 32.
No, I don't have 32, but I have.
Souls, nobody's going
Oh,
to
I'm
take him
sorry.
before the Patriots pick.
I got 2 guys I want. So give me a 2nd and a 4th. My highest 2nd round pick.
I still say no.
And a 5th.
Swap first. and
I'm not swapping.
He wants 2 guys. That's all he's.
And then I'll give you both my 2nd round picks and a 5th.
Deal.
All right, cool. Pick is in.
Wait, who? You're the Eagles?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a fair trade, but I'll accept it because I like to see what Souls is up to. All right, New England. A lot of arrows on this pick.
Oh, do I have a
Is the pick in?
Yes.
Pick is in.
Do I have a sinking feeling who this is?
With the 30th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select defensive end Colleen Farrell out of the University of Clemson.
Yep.
No, you're wrong.
You guys are all gonna miss Tom Brady when he's gone.
I also did just point that out to him.
No,
I am not going to miss Tom Brady when he's gone.
Because they lost Trey Flowers. They have nobody.
6'4", 264 with a 607 grade. Has a lot of comparisons to Derek Morgan. Prototypical frame with broad shoulders. Posted 36.5 tackles for loss and 21 sacks since 2017. Excellent snap reaction and is first off the ball. Traits the punch and control blockers frame and setting the edge. Skilled hands for quick wins and sheds. Also projectable power. Projectable power for rushers on the next level. And he plays behind his long arms. Below average fluidity and agility and movement. Unable to sustain early bursts at the top of the rush. And average burst to close out tackles and gaps. Inside moves and transitions can be mechanical and awkward. The Rams are on the clock. Kyle's calling you again, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm waiting for it.
Go ahead, make your pick.
The pick is in. The Rams select Garrett Bradbury, center, North Carolina.
That's a shot because you're from NC State.
I think he's a plug and play for the next 10 years.
That doesn't mean he's not from NC State.
He's saying that you said the wrong college.
Oh, did I say? What did I say?
You said North Carolina.
Oh,
Actually,
my
he
bad.
plays LSU.
He's just a plug and play college guy.
Garrett Bradbury, 6'3", 306 from NC State. I hate this pick, to be honest with you.
That's fine.
I really do. And I'm the Rams now. Patriots, I'm calling you because I hate our pick. We fired our GM since the last pick. No, a little bit below average in size. I like my offensive lineman to be bigger than that mark, but he's got good lean muscle mass and core strength. He's a former tight end with above average athletic talent. Plus, he's got plus reactive athleticism for sudden switch from one block to the next and impressive body control to jump off the tape. Won't overset in pass pro and maintains mirror nose tackles, catch those hands in their chest early in their rushes. He falls slightly below NFL size averages, and his forward lean into pass sets could open him up to counters. His pass protection benefited from quick game and play action attack, and he. Okay, once Todd Gurley's done, that's gone. Run blocking gets top heavy with excessive leaning, and he doesn't get much movement as a drive blocker. Also, even in quick game and play action attack, often gets cement footed and causes tackle for loss opportunities. The New England Patriots are on the clock.
Pick is in.
Is it Irv Smith?
There's a sniper dot in Belichick.
No.
What you got?
The 32nd pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select quarterback Daniel Jones out of the University
I
of
can't
Duke.
see. There's a mess. I'm doing analysis. I can't be checking your mock drafts.
It's not a mock draft. It's a That is who I also thought you were going to pick.
It's a computer screen. This is ridiculous. Because are all fired.
Goodbye.
All of you are all fired as GMs, except for whoever was the GM of the Detroit Lions.
Kyle?
There you go. Good for you, Souls. 6'5", 221. Comparisons to Ryan Tannehill. Benefited working under a quarterback guru and David Cutcliffe at Duke. He did more with less at the skill positions, quick worker through his progressions, adjusts pre-snap plan to blitz and explodes hot read opportunities, outstanding accuracy on intermediate throws, very close friends with the Belichick family as well, courage to hang in the pocket and throw despite impeding a blow. He's thin in his lower body, had 12 passes batted down at the line of scrimmage last year, and he benefited from a very heavy play-action RPO scheme. He waits the extra step before cutting it loose too often, and attempts to throw into impossible windows. And will be the next 6-time Super Bowl champ.
He's going to be better than
with the New
Jimmy
England
Garoppolo.
Patriots. And there it is, the Getting Sports with Drunk.
That's gotta suck when like all that's coming out and they're like, yeah, we compare you to Ryan Tannehill. Just be like, oh.
Well, it's compared to like when they came out.
No, I know, but even still.
There it is, the NFL mock draft, the Getting Sports with Drunk edition. Bet some trades, bet some denied trades. We had two GMs turn down some really good trades from the New England Patriots, which, yeah, I mean, the New England Patriots would never offer that, but those were some good fucking trades.
But all in all,
Exhausting.
He's playing the clapping sound.
Oh, I can't hear it. I can't hear it. I can't do the headphones. They're obnoxious. Red Baron did a great job on the audio effects. Congratulations to you.
thank you. One day we'll have like a touchscreen thing.
Nah, we won't. We won't.
Well,
We got time for some beer reviews, though. Mass?
that we do.
Starting was Naughty Nurse. I drank it kind of warm, so it was a little bit bitter. I've had it before, though. Good beer just to sit around and drink. I'd definitely have it again and probably give it 3 stars. Finished off with Red Dog. As everybody has said. Very easy beer to crush.
Browns and Folk.
Definitely something that I would have again. I'd give that 3 stars, 3.5. But it would
Throw some respect on Red Dog.
It wouldn't be the beer that I start out with for the night.
Why?
Yeah, what?
Get the fuck out of here.
Well,
Souls?
Mine was a fantastic beer as always. Super duper double citra. That's all I gotta say about it. It's great.
Deja vu.
yeah.
Red
Tune
Baron?
in next week to hear Kyle talk about Super Double Citra.
Red Baron?
I had the Ice Cream Man by Back East, 6.4%, about $15 or so from Bloomfield, Connecticut. Straw colors with a citrusy aroma as citrusy flavor as well. Very tasty. Very, very rarely distributed, so buy it if you can. It's a play on words. I think it's a very hyped up beer, but it lives up to every last drop and every last cent you
Even
pay.
your girlfriend thought you were stupid on that one.
A very poundable beer. I give it 4 stars. Absolutely would get again.
Well, what's that other beer you have?
Oh, I'm not reviewing the peach beer. I'm just drinking it.
Oh.
It's awful.
You ever notice that Kendall reads his beer reviews like he's reading a children's book to a kid? Like he's just like puts enthusiasm with like certain spots. Machcine?
Well, the first beer I had has been mentioned briefly. It was the Beauty Parade from Hoax Brewing here in Connecticut.
I'll give you a quick review. I'm not putting in the book, but they were close. But close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
This was the Peach Milkshake IPA. Now, I can understand why people would like it, but I hated it. It was like real sweet. I didn't care for it. I gave it 1 star. I wrote not very good. And
It tastes like they aged it in a phone book.
and I'm doubtful to recommend. What?
I had Red Dog to start and Red Dog to finish. 5 stars, always worth it. Drink them.
I had one other.
Oh, what'd you have?
I had the Starlet from City Steam also.
Better than Red Dog?
It is not better than Red Dog because I don't think there's anything better than Red Dog.
Don't
Not
fucking
even
lie.
authentic Pilsner as well?
All right, that is.
Is it though?
That's delicious.
But is it better than Red Dog?
Yeah,
You can get that easier than you can get Red Dog.
that's not true.
Yeah, it is.
It's
You get it
kind
at
of
least
true.
3 times a year. When's the last time you had Red Dog before last week?
You know,
Exactly.
For your sake, it's probably true what Riddler is
it's
saying.
true. But yeah, this is a New England style IPA. I thought this was very good, solid beer. It's only at 5.5%, so it's not overly boozy. It was smooth. I gave it 3 stars. I would recommend it.
I started with Red Dog. I finished with Red Dog. 5 stars. Drink it.
Woof woof woof.
Social media. Make sure to follow us and subscribe and like and poke and prod.
Yes, find us on Facebook and Instagram at Getting Sports with Drunk. Twitter is GSWD_4.
Make sure to use the hashtag GSWD for all your daily uses, whether it's getting down with the dog or declining awesome trades from the Patriots.
Subscribe on Podbean, iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, and Spotify.
Where you find podcasts and radio stations, you find us.
We are on the PPRN Radio Network every Monday night right here from 8-ish to 11-ish, give or take. Check out the PPRN YouTube channel. Subscribe. A lot of good stuff going on there. Tomorrow night, I haven't asked Kendall yet. Are you on Peter's show tomorrow?
I am.
Tomorrow night, catch me and Kendall on the Peter Pino show, and Rebecca. Maybe she'll say more than 3 words this time.
It might just be us 3, depending on what Hatfield's doing.
Yeah. But yeah, check out Peter Pino show every Tuesday and Wednesday from 7:30-ish to 10:30-ish, and all the other great stuff going on at PPRN. Download the PPRN app.
Yes. A quick around the horn before we sign off. Anyone? Yay, nay?
I think everyone should taste it.
Already did. I gotta pee, so I can't hold it anymore.
Next week we will be doing some in-depth NBA and NHL playoff analysis. Do a little bit of recapping as we get a little bit further into baseball season, and we'll touch upon the submitted mock drafts. Well, they don't all have to be submitted, but those of them who have been submitted, if they want to discuss them, we have a friendly competition going around about all that. I'm going to take my private stock. I don't know if anyone has anything to say.
What do you
I
got,
have
Kendall?
something to say. Pretty soon, it's been tough. You know, our director of production has been busy, but Litchfield will be up. The video as well as the podcast itself is finished. It's basically completed, but we want to put everything out.
WrestleMania happened, so that was like 6 weeks off.
It's true. You know, WrestleMania sometimes takes precedence, or whatever it is for her.
Even though she fell asleep.
Yeah. No, actually, she left. Yeah, she left. I watched the thing to completion. What? Forget her.
I've never once slept through a Super Bowl, and I've always had to work the next day.
Yeah.
If you're not taking that day off, you're doing something wrong.
I've watched Super Bowls at work. I've watched WrestleManias at work. But anyway, until next week, I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler.
I'm Mach.
Sheen Washable.
Nope.
Souls is pissing.
The Mask Massey.
And I'm
Red Kuiper.
Red Kuiper. That's it.
Yeah.